All fighters require their own source of motivation, courage, passion, ambition. But fueling Frank Shamrock and Phil Baroni? Mutual hatred.
Frank Shamrock is a punk, knocking his ass out.
He's nowhere in my league. He has no business fighting me. But he earned himself a place under my fist.
Frank Shamrock's talking a big game, then knocking me out. I'm a fucking knockout artist.
For years, their rivalry has been brewing.
He's got a big fucking mouth. I'm gonna break this dude's jaw.
I don't know if Phil is aware of how stupid he is. He's a complete meathead.
I have everything it takes to beat him. Where he's weak, I'm strong. Where he's strong, I'm stronger.
Now it has reached its boiling point.
I called him up and said, hey, if you're serious, let me know, because I'm one of those guys that can get things done.
Frank Shamrock, as far as he goes, I'm gonna hit him and forget him.
Phil, you're an idiot.
Now, both fighters get to settle their differences. And make no mistake, this one is personal. San Jose, California, the capital of Silicon Valley, and an area well known for computer technology, superb climate, and a place where all types of dreams come true. Tonight, it's a mixed martial arts showcase as 10 fighters will put their hopes, their dreams, and their bodies on the line in the cage as Elite XC and Strikeforce present Shamrock versus Baroni, the grudge match for the Strikeforce World Middleweight Championship. Welcome to the HP Pavillion, also known as the Shark Tank, home to the San Jose Sharks of the National Hockey League. This venue has also hosted some of the largest crowds in the history of North American mixed martial arts. These Northern California sports fans love their action in the cage as much as they do on the ice. And when it's time for extreme combat, the tank will be rocking. Yo, 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 and away we go. This is Mauro Ranallo coming to you from San Jose, California. Yes, my friends, summer is officially here, and Elite XC and Strikeforce are heating things up with a big fight card stacked with talent. And you know, it doesn't get any better or any nastier than our main event of the evening, Frank Shamrock versus Phil Baroni. Shamrock is one of the pioneers of MMA and wants to show the world he can still dominate this sport. On the other side, Phil Baroni always talks a loud game and hopes to live up to his nickname as the New York Badass. Leading up to this fight, Baroni has trashed the legend at every opportunity. And tonight, Baroni will have to put up or shut up. Now, I'm also very excited to inform you that my esteemed broadcast partner, Bill Goldberg, will be making his debut in the cage tonight. All right, so it's to do interviews. But Bill, with all the pre-fight rhetoric between Phil Baroni and Frank Shamrock, is it just talk, or do these two really hate each other?
You know, under normal circumstances, MMA fighters are all about respecting their opponent. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you can throw that out the window. Thanks to technology, these two have been able to generate a true hatred for each other using the power of the internet. Tonight, no more cute videos, no more online verbal jabs. One of these two warriors was gonna get his ass kicked, and I can't wait.
None of us can, Bill. Also joining me is Jay Glazer, another guy who always speaks his mind. And Jay, how do these two fighters match up from a style perspective?
Two completely different animals in here. First of all, Frank Shamrock, he takes no emotion into the cage. Phil Baroni, he's nothing but emotion. Baroni, for him, it's a fight. For Shamrock, it's the game. The key to this fight tonight is how quickly can Shamrock take the fight and the emotion out of Baroni and turn it into a game. All right, guys, fight fans. It promises to be an emotionally charged main event. The grudge match of the year, Shamrock versus Baroni for the Strikeforce Middleweight World Championship. But that's not all. We have a great lineup of fights leading up to that climax. San Jose sensation Cung puts his undefeated MMA record on the line against veteran Tony the Freak Frykland.
we have the first ever Elite XC Championship bout. Smokin' Joe Villasenor versus Murilo Ninja Hua for the Elite XC middleweight title. It's always interesting when the heavyweights collide, and we should see fistic fireworks between Carter the Beast Williams and Paul the Headhunter Buentello. And we are going to start things off with a bang as Edson Berto tangles with Joe boxer Victor Valenzuela. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett was scheduled to face Joe boxer Valenzuela, but Bennett withdrew earlier this week, opening the door for Edson Berto. Now, regardless of the opponent, Valenzuela knows he needs an impressive performance tonight to improve his stock in the 155-pound division.
Victor Joe boxer Valenzuela, lightweight, Rancho Cucamonga, California. I just like to fight. It just feels good. If I have to grapple, I'll grapple, but I like to keep it on my feet. If you want to take me down on the ground, you're going to get in trouble on the ground. I'm basically a counter fighter. I just look for openings. If I see an opening, I'm firing my shots in the openings. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. If something's open, I'm going to land a punch. I want to be a champion. That's what I'm here for.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, Victor Valenzuela.
Victor Valenzuela cut his MMA teeth in the King of the Cage promotion. Tonight, the native of Rancho Cucamonga, California, moves up in terms of exposure and quality of opponent as he looks to extend his 5-fight winning streak.
Joe Boxer has wanted Crazy Horse for 2.5 years. He's a strong boxer, excellent reach and power for his weight class, but is the change of an opponent going to make a difference, Clay?
No, absolutely not. Today's day and age of mixed martial arts, you've got to really train for every single style out there. If your strength is boxing, sure, you work on that, but if you're going to face a guy, in Crazy Horse Bennett and Edson Berto, they're both strong strikers. It's not like Berto is just all a ground fighter, so I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. The one difference, guys, is maybe because Berto has strong tie, maybe Joe Boxer would have worked on his defense against tie kicks a little bit more than he has.
All right, well, we told you Valenzuela's opponent, Edson Berto, took this bout on very short notice. Unbeaten in his last 8 fights tonight, he has plans to keep that streak alive.
Edson Berto, lightweight, when I live in Florida. Before I get into mixed martial, I used to play soccer. My dad, he was a professional fighter. My brother, they all fighting, so that's when I tried mixed martial arts, and it works for me. I was gonna push the pace. I love staying up. I love throwing bombs, so I'm just gonna keep it stand up. If it doesn't go my way, I'm just gonna take it down and tap his ass up. That's it. Even though I take the fight in short notice, I'm always ready, I want to be one of the best fighters in the world right now. I mean, I love fighting. It's in my blood, so I love it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Edson Berto.
Edson Berto is known as Little Tiger because once that cage door closes, he becomes a ferocious fighting machine. He debuted for Elite XC on February 10th when he TKO'd John Shackelford in South Haven, Mississippi in Elite XC's first event. For Berto Bill, fighting is in his blood.
He is an exceptional athlete. He comes from a family of highly skilled fighters. His father, a mixed martial artist, fought in the UFC. His brother is a terrific pro boxer.
And he's probably a tougher opponent for Joe Boxer than Crazy Horse Bennett would have been, because Bennett, what you're going to get there is stand up, maybe some slams, but this guy, Edson Berto, he has a strong ground game, a much stronger ground game at least than Crazy Horse Bennett would have brought into this cage.
Watch for the heel hook.
All right, let's get to the tail of the tape for this lightweight battle to kick things off here tonight in San Jose. Edson Berto is 26, his opponent Valenzuela 37. Berto's 1 inch shorter. They both come in at 155 pounds. Berto's a shoot fighting background, Valenzuela the boxing background. Now let's give you the rules of combat. 3 judges score the fight based equally on striking, grappling, effective aggression, and cage control. There's a 10-point must system. The winner of each round gets 10 points, the loser 9 or less. No knees to the head of a grounded opponent, and only the referee or doctor can stop the fight. Let's now take you to the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and to our pay-per-view audience joining us around the world, we welcome you to the HP Pavillion here in San Jose, California, as we present a tremendous showcase of mixed martial arts, and it's all brought to you by Elite XC, Strikeforce, and Showtime. This bout coming away, ladies and gentlemen, features lightweights in the cage. We're scheduled 3 5-minute rounds and presented by Elite XC. Introducing at this time our 3 judges scoring from cage side, all from California. We have Nelson Hamilton, Cecil Peoples, and Marcos Rosales. And introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout from Maryland, Mario Yamasaki. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches, he weighed in at 155 pounds, raised in the discipline of boxing. His MMA record stands at 5 wins, 1 defeat, 2 draws, with 2 knockouts and 3 submissions to his credit. Hailing from Rancho Cucamonga, California, he is known as Joe Boxer. Introducing Victor Valenzuela. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches. He weighed in at 155 pounds, specializing in the discipline of shoot fighting. His record stands at 10 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 3 knockouts and 7 submissions to his credit. Fighting out of Winter Haven, Florida, by way of Haiti. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Edson, Little Tiger Berto. Once again, a referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki, now to give instructions.
All right, I already talked to you guys in the locker room. I want you guys to do a clean fight, fight strong, follow my orders at all time, okay? Touch gloves, good luck.
Edson Berto in the white and black trunks, Victor Valenzuela in the red and black trunks. And guys, someone's streak will come to an end in this lightweight matchup at the Shark Tank. Berto unbeaten in his last 8 fights. Valenzuela has won 5 in a row.
There you go, first round, you ready? You ready? Let's go, come on!
First of 3 5-minute rounds is the 2 touch gloves. And we are underway, and we thank you for joining us on pay-per-view for what should be a dynamite night of fights. And immediately Berto goes upstairs with that high body kick and looks for the shot and is able to secure the takedown.
You know, Joe Boxer is called Joe Boxer because of his boxing ability, but he wants to start being called Jiu-Jitsu because he's really starting to do a lot of work on the ground. Well, let's see if he's going to earn that nickname. Berto easily passing to side.
Bill Goldberg astutely put it that Berto's known for those lethal hits.
There you go.
For one. And obviously, the conventional wisdom is you want to go for one early in the round, Bill J, because there's no perspiration, no sweat.
And he tapped.
There it is. That's it.
Goldberg is Karnak.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that one, but I think Valenzuela definitely would have had an easier time with Charles Bennett tonight.
What Valenzuela really needed to do there, guys, was try and unhook the leg and try and roll out of it. Didn't do it. He sat right back on his butt, exactly where Edson Berto wanted him.
You know, Jay, you don't see it often. The ankle locks, the leg locks, but that heel hook, when it's applied the way Berto just did it to Joe Boxer Valenzuela, it's a sweet sight to see. And now he increases his winning streak to 9 fights. He's now 8-0-1 in his last 9 performances. This guy, a force to be reckoned with at 155.
I think he absolutely is, because he's a well-rounded fighter. I'll tell you the interesting part about that, though, is that heel hook right there, that's a painful hold, but that's it. It's not going to do any damage. It's not like it was a heel hook.
It was Achilles tendon.
Right, and that's what it was, but it's not going to tear your knee like some other heel hooks. It's just a painful thing. Some guys will just deal with it and fight it and fight it. Obviously, Joe Boxer couldn't.
It happened in less than a minute, 47 seconds. Edson Berto taking the fight on literally days' notice, taps out Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela via heel hook.
Billy with a little scoopage there. Let's take a look at the replay here. And the interesting thing is, Berto is trying to say how much of a striker he is, so what's he going to do? Go right in for the takedown under the boxer, take him down, and at that point, Berto, I think, is already trying to pass to the side to figure out how he can go after that heel. Obviously, he told Bill beforehand, I'm going to look to try and secure that early in the fight. Now watch the tap out here. Gets the knee over, and you see right there Joe Boxer trying to move that foot. He's trying to spread his legs apart, but the pain up top by the ankle is too much.
And he did go from the Achilles tendon into the heel hook.
He did turn it around.
He definitely garnered the desired results.
But he needed to roll out of that, and he didn't do it.
And Edson Berto rolls to victory. All right, let's take you to Jimmy Lennon Jr. to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 47 seconds in round number 1 as an ankle lock ends this contest. The fighter taps out. He is the winner by way of submission, Edson Little Tiger Berto.
Yes. All right, let's take you now to Bill Goldberg standing inside the cage with the winner, Little Tiger Edson Berto.
I'm here with Edson Little Tiger. I think we're going to rename you to Big Tiger after that. What do you think about the heel hook early?
Man, people say, that's what I have, heel hook and stuff like that, but that's what they always give me. Whatever they give you, just go for it.
Was that your plan? You hit it early?
Yeah, that was my plan. So they say he's a good boxer and he got some kickboxing background, so that's why I shoot and take him down and tap him out.
You got it, Edson. Here's the tap out up here. I want you to talk me through it real quick.
Right here, I didn't go for his left leg. I go with the opposite one because there's no way out right here. Even either way you turn, I'm still gonna get it. I can hear it pop, but you tap out.
Well, congratulations. You're 2-0 with EXC. So we'll see you next time, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Edson Berto.
I got to tell you what, Maura, I thought that it was just one of those painful locks. It wasn't. It started off just with the Achilles lock, and then he turned it to that heel hook that attacks the knee, and at that point, Joe Boxer had no choice but to tap out. Great technical move there early on by Edson Berto.
It was a Little Tiger that had Valenzuela by the tail in that fight as he ends it in 47 seconds with the heel hook. Up next, Carter the Beast Williams takes on Paul the Headhunter Buentello. Now, these two fighters exemplify Strikeforce as both are big-time strikers. This fight just may be short and sweet.
Paul Buentello, heavyweight, San Jose, California. Pretty laid back, slow starter, but I got knockout power, very good speed, and I'm pretty agile for a heavyweight. Carter Williams is a good matchup. I have to hit him first. So I'm going to hit him as fast as I can, as hard as I can. If you hit the head hard enough, everything else follows. And it's going to be a stand-up war. It's going to be a stand-up war all the way. I put faith in my complete training. One thing you'd think you can land a big kick, before you know it, you're on your back. I want to leave everything in that cage and walk away with my hands up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, Paul the Headhunter Buentello.
Paul Buentello Buentello knows all about sacrifice. He left his wife, daughter, and stable contracting job in Texas so he could train under crazy Bob Cook at the American Kickboxing Academy here in San Jose. The move paid dividends as he eventually fought Andrei Arlovsky for the UFC World Heavyweight title at UFC 55. And Bill, you'll be happy to know that he is still married.
You know, it sure as hell has paid dividends. He has won the last 9 out of his last 10 bouts. He's an extremely heavy-handed puncher, one-punch KO power, and very underrated high kicks.
All right, we talk about this still being a fight. That's what he is. He is a fighter. He's a brawler. Not a very technically strong guy, but it doesn't matter. He gets from point A to point B better than most guys in this sport.
And the great thing for all the fans out there is Buentello hates boring fights.
He absolutely does. You're not going to see him right now in a technical masterpiece like a pitter-patter, one of these 12-round boxing matches. This guy comes in to throw bombs.
Well, he told us if he saw guys like Pete Pano and Jeff Monson fighting on his front yard, he'd call the police. Obviously not a fan of the ground game, but they don't call him the headhunter for nothing. Buentello's opponent, Carter the Beast Williams, has 4 career MMA fights. All have ended in the first round. Will tonight be number 5?
Carter Williams, heavyweight, Desto.
This is my type of sport. I'm originally from the streets and I like to get down. And it just comes to me and it's just natural. I do what I have to do. It starts off standing up and then sometimes it ends up on the ground. So you got to be prepared for whatever. I'm the younger fighter, the harder striker. He's going to expect me to throw a lot of leg kicks, which I probably will. If I do have him go to the ground, I'll just do what I do best, my ground and pound. I see a fight being over within 2 to 3 minutes. I want to win this fight. I have to win this fight. Just going to see where I stand, you know?
Now ready to help bring out our next fighter, Carter the Beast Williams, to the cage. Please welcome Zone 4 Interscope recording artist, Rich Boy.
Come on, hey, come on, yeah, hey. Pump talk or get to a bar, look at here. Rich boy, really do it, boy, look at here. We can buy the bar all night, look at here. I can show you what a stand like, look at here. Pump talk and get to it, boy, look at here. Rich boy, really do it, boy, look at here. We can buy the bar all night, look at here. I can show you what a stand like, look at here. On top, I'ma tell you this a pledge. A real pimp here now, better get your chick. Yeah, come big pimpin' in the high now. If you're real, then you know what I'm talking about. Rich boy, I don't know what he hate a thing. Better die, shoot a thigh, what your boy bring. Coming down like snow in the wintertime. I don't know about you, but I'm getting mine. DIP never cold boy head, yeah. Zone 4 coin pour up in the ATL. Get money, I already know what it is. Hunt on style chick, what the business is. Get my head to the lazy boy sofa. Keep my toaster warm in my holster. See, you got your little jerk, but I'm chomped out. All that hate play, boy, get your stomped out. Bump talk and get to it, boy, look at here. Rich boy, really do it, boy, look at here. We can buy the boy all night, look at here. I can show you what a stand like, look at here. Pump talk and get to it, boy, look at here. Rich boy, really do it, boy, look at here. We can buy the boy all night, look at here. I can show you what a stand like, look at here. Now I'm with a tight shirt with the cup length. See the big red stone make your eye blank. Sell toe slow and I rhyme funny. But I ain't thinking about
yeah, boy! That is Interscope.
Rich Boy's playing at you and Gina's wedding, isn't he?
Pardon me? That is the master of the beats, Rich Boy, giving way to the master of the beatings, Carter Williams, my friend.
Let's see what happens tonight, man. Carter has had his ups and downs for sure. He and I have been friends for a while, and I'm looking for him to break through, but which Carter Williams will show up?
We talked earlier about Buentello just being a pure brawler. Well, Carter Williams, a very technical fighter. You're going to see a lot of rhyme to reason to his strategy. He's not just going to go in there and try and make this a brawl. He's going to try and pick Buentello apart.
Hey, Jay, I heard you in the shower the other day, rapping to throw some D's. Zone 4 Interscope recording artist Rich Boy.
What were you doing in my shower?
Jewish people don't rap, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's take you now
I'm not touching that.
to the tail of the tape, please. Carter Williams is 27, 6'1", 265.5 pounds with a Muay Thai and Western boxing background. His opponent, Buentello, is 33, 6'2", 250.5 pounds with kickboxing and submission wrestling in his arsenal. Let's take you to the rules of combat for this fight. 3 judges score the fight based equally on striking, grappling, effective aggression, and cage control. A 10-point must system. Each winner of the round gets 10 points. The loser 9 or less. And because it's a Strikeforce matchup, no knees, elbows, or forearms to the head of a grounded opponent, referee or doctor can stop the fight. Let's take you now to the freshest man on the microphone, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, Strikeforce presents heavyweights in the cage. We're scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring from cage side. From Florida, we have Richard Bertrand. From California, Nelson Hamilton. And also from California, Marcos Rosales. Introducing our referee in charge of this bout from Las Vegas, Nevada, Steve Mazzagatti. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first, on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 feet 2 inches. He weighed in at 250.5 pounds. Specializing in kickboxing and submission wrestling, his record stands at 22 wins, 9 losses, with 15 knockouts and 7 submissions to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former King of the Cage world champion from San Jose, California, introducing the hard-hitting Paul, the headhunter, Buentello. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 feet 1 inch. He weighed in at 265.5 pounds, joining the mixed martial arts ranks in the traditions of Muay Thai and Western boxing. His MMA record stands at 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 knockout, and 2 submissions to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former US K1 and World Muay Thai champion from Modesto, California, by way of San Jose, introducing Carter, the Beast Williams. Once again, here's our referee in charge, Steve Mazzagatti.
All right, gentlemen, you know the rules. We all expect a good, clean, fair fight. You need to obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. Hook 'em up. Good luck.
The fine folks voting at ProElite.com have voted 57% in favor of Buentello, 33% for Carter Williams.
That does not add up, my friend.
No, is it 43%?
I may have been hitting the head a lot of times, but that's okay.
So it was interesting, guys. Right before this,
school that day.
Buentello looked across the ring and asked Williams if they want to tap gloves in the center.
Well, you know, the ironic thing is that Carter Williams, while he lives in Modesto, grew up in San Jose, but he's hearing the chorus of boos. But nevertheless, in this Strikeforce matchup, Bill, it's time to do some big game hunting. Buentello, Williams do touch gloves. This bout is underway.
Expect an exciting fight, gentlemen.
So for those of you that, again, did take calculus, it's 57% for Buentello, 43% for Carter Williams into the Greco-Roman clinch along the fence.
Surprisingly, it goes to the ground within the first 30 seconds.
And Williams...
Carter lands a great right hand.
Unloads with the rights as Buentello has surrendered his back momentarily, but back on his feet, but he's being overwhelmed right now by the bigger Carter Williams.
And that's not what you expect from a K1 fighter. K1, you expect him to come out, start throwing kicks. But Bill, you talked to his trainer right before this fight. What did he tell you?
He's been working with some ground guys. There's no question about it. He's been working on jiu-jitsu. And I thought Buentello would want to take it to the ground. But when they hit the ground, he was the first one that wanted to get up.
Well, at 22-9 and fighting for a UFC heavyweight title already on his resume, Buentello does have the MMA experience. But Carter Williams, at an 18-1 underdog, became the youngest ever K1 US Grand Prix champion in 2003 and now has made the move to MMA.
And I tell you what, if I am Carter Williams, I do this. I try and keep it close. I don't want to be on the end of a brawler's punches. I don't want Buentello to be able to extend on me when he throws blows.
Except for the fact that Carter is a pretty damn dangerous guy on his feet, too.
Absolutely, but he's not. He has that. He has a definite deficit in height.
Williams and Buentello, not much of a difference when it comes to reach. Nice knee by Buentello from the clinch, trying to get dominant position along the fence. Creating the separation, though, was Williams with a knee of his own.
And we've seen Carter go the distance in his K1 fights, but the question is, does he have the gas to go the distance in an MMA fight?
Stop, guys.
It's interesting. Buentello said that he changed up his training a little bit to try and strengthen his legs, thinking he's going to take a lot of low leg kicks. So far, only one. Not exactly getting what he expected.
2 minutes have elapsed, and Buentello told us that he watches the first 2 minutes of the fight to see how his opponent starts. Well, obviously he knows that Williams is not afraid to go for a takedown.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, Glaze, you were right. Carter did not want to stay at the end of Buentello's reach there. And now we got the guillotine.
Finger guillotine.
Exactly. Good job by Carter Williams to pry those fingers off his throat.
And look what Carter's going for.
And again, because Williams is on the ground, no knee strikes to the head. Now he can deliver those multi-knee strikes. Williams comes back with a left hook. Not a lot of pop, though, behind it, Bill.
No, it kind of looks like Carter's a fish out of water here a little bit. Unfortunately for him, I don't know how long he's been working the ground game, but it's still pretty impressive that he's been able to tie Buentello up and not go to his back.
Who would ever thought that this fight would be dominated by the transition game?
Look at that. It was Buentello looking for the front sweep, and now the knee, and Buentello begins to unload on Carter Williams.
Buentello he's a crafty veteran. He knows how to dirty box. He knows how to mix it up in any position. When he gets in trouble, he can adjust.
Going in, they said that this matchup was one involving the technician Williams versus the puncher Buentello. Buentello by far Williams' toughest challenge in MMA to date, and he's taking the fight to him now with 1:40 left in the opening round.
See, look what Buentello does. And every time he can inflict damage, he does. He's trying to step on feet. As you see right there, he's trying to throw knees, trying for tie clinch, anything he can to inflict damage on a guy who has not been in a cage for 2.5 years.
And remember, Bill, at the outset, we said Carter Williams has never been out of the opening round. As this goes into deeper water, it obviously will favor Buentello when it comes to conditioning. Don't you think?
Absolutely, no question. I don't know what type of shape Carter's in as he lands a nice uppercut there, but I would think that he'd want to get it over as quick as possible.
Again, they're in the clinch along the fence, and this is where a lot of the fight has taken place. You see referee Steve Mazzagatti looking on. We are into the final 60 seconds of this opening stanza.
Buentello had double underhooks, and what that did, it get perfect position and allowed him to maneuver Carter Williams' head for those knees. Williams needs to get an arm inside to create distance.
And Buentello uncorked a couple of knees and begins to score again, and now shooting out the jab is Williams. But back comes Buentello into that clinch, and he's got the over-under on Williams now.
Buentello is an extremely crafty fighter.
Buentello realized that Carter Williams wanted to be in this position, so he turned it around into his favor.
Buentello also told us that leg kicks were going to be an area of concern. Thus far, we have yet to see Carter Williams go the leg route, Jay.
Well, he's been constantly engaged with him. And now look, he's going for his own guillotine choke here, Murilo.
And Williams breaks away and starts to unload. Now they start to trade with 10 seconds left in the opening round. But again, it's very short exchanges, you guys, before they clinch up.
Well, it's good for Carter. He closes the distance and doesn't stay at the end of those punches. Tell you what, any one of those haymakers could put each one of them down.
And the round ends in a flurry. We go to round two, and for the first time in his MMA career, Carter the Beast Williams will see the second round.
Which one of us thought this one would go to the second round, boys? Let's check out here a replay, and folks, this is what you're going to see that Paul Buentello never thought he would see. A takedown by Carter Williams. He's a K1 fighter, which means he's a stand-up. Actually got a pretty decent sweep right there. Well, and immediately tries to push him to the cage and do some ground and pound.
Speaking of ground and pound, look at his trunks. I never would have thought a K1 North American winner would be wearing K.
Now you see Buentello trying to first for a guillotine, and he turns that instead, transitions to the knee strikes. But Carter Williams doing a good job getting out of trouble, popping the head up, and throwing a strike of his own. Now here, Buentello against the fence. Carter Williams trying to land an elbow there. And that right there, that shot by Buentello was the only shot, I think, of the first round where he was able to extend, get his arm, hip, legs, everything involved in a punch. That's why you haven't seen much damage.
All right, guys, round two, bring it on, come on.
We're going to see Carter Williams cardio right now, boys. Looks as if Buentello is fresh as can be.
And Buentello quickly
right in the eye.
a couple of uppercuts now, and out. Hammer fist, and obviously Williams was hurt in the eye, and the fight has been stopped. Oh, the headhunter Buentello goes headhunting and collects his 23rd MMA win in front of a raucous hometown crowd. You know, Jay, earlier this year, Buentello was petitioning to get a fight against internet street fighting legend Kimbo Slice. Kimbo's going to be involved in a quote-unquote I don't know if Kimbo Slice wants any part of Paul Williams.
I don't think so. The great thing about Paul Williams, there you go. The great thing about Buentello here is look what he did. He got him with an uppercut there. That's really the first time we saw an uppercut in this fight. So what he decided to do is he went over to his corner and said, all right, these are working, these aren't working. Let me do some things now, bring them into the second round, some angles that Carter Williams has not seen yet. The other thing I could say is just because a guy is a very strong K1 fighter, some guys it equates like Mirko Krokop, Mark Hunt, Maurice Smith, and some guys it certainly doesn't, like, you know, Michael McDonald, you know, guys like that.
Stefan Blitzlako, I called his fights in pride, definitely was not made for mixed martial arts and yet has enjoyed a great career in K1. But Paul the Headhunter Buentello on his way again to wanting a shot somewhere for a heavyweight championship. Hopefully it'll be right here in Strikeforce.
And Buentello also shows how crafty, how much more crafty, how much craftiness really can beat the technical look. Check out a replay here. Carter Williams ducks the jab. The first time he ducked the jab, second time Buentello threw it just to get Carter to duck, throw that uppercut. You know what that is? That is just classic 1-2 combination, old school boxing. Have somebody duck under a jab, throw the uppercut. Let's take another look. Here comes one jab, he gets under it. Now he knows he's going to duck it, so he throws another jab, goes under, and then tries it again, lands the uppercut, 1, 2, 3. Obviously got into that orbital bone.
You know, Carter Williams had never been out of the first round in his MMA career. He only lasted 10 seconds of round 2. Does that count, Jay?
It counts. Hey, he had the minute break. I'm going to give it to him.
10 seconds of round 2 via TKO. Paul Buentello bags the Duke. Let's make it official with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 10 seconds even in round number 2. Our referee in charge, Steve Mezzagatti, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Paul the Headhunter Buentello.
Let's take you now to Bill Goldberg. I'm wondering if he's going to ask Paul Williams, who's next?
Headhunter, wonderful job, man. It doesn't look like you're too excited to win in front of your adopted hometown, San Jose.
¡Ontavi Mexicanos! You know, let's go out to my Mexican fans. You know, they're always messing with us, but I got your back, Mexicanos, got your back. Toda raza.
I thought you were speaking Hebrew there for a minute, man.
You know, it's great. It's great to be here in front of San Jose. Great love, baby, great love. I love it.
Did you think for 1 second that a former K1 North American champion was going to take you to the ground?
I had no clue on that. He took me down. It kind of startled me for a second, but this is my house, baby. My house. It ain't going to happen here.
You win 10 out of your last 11 fights. What's next?
You know, I'm right here at Strikeforce. They're going to bring me whoever I work. This is my job. This is my office. This is where I'm at. I want to give thanks to Designer Way, Gamma O, Pocencia, Knox Gear, Bay Bets, Sacrifice Fight Gear, and Extreme Training Center. Go check it out.
You got it, man. We're going to go to the replay. We want you to talk us through it.
Let's be loud, people. Let's be loud on this replay.
There we go. There we go.
You know, I had to stay up strong with him, and I knew he's ducking a lot, so that's how I had to set him up with the jab and some uppercuts. That's my bread and butter is the uppercut. I didn't think he was going to go down. I thought he was playing possum, but, you know, it's a good shot. Love it for you, San Jose.
Bob Buentello, San Jose, congratulations, my friend.
And back here at cage side, Mauro Glazer along with Jay Ranallo. I'm sorry about that, Paul Buentello.
Valenzuela, who are you getting?
Yeah, Paul Buentello picking up the win, and Jay, very impressively done.
Absolutely. You know, the great thing about Buentello is, we said before, sometimes in this sport, the experience, the craftiness, and just your pure brute force, that equates to a win. And you know what? We're going to see a lot of that later on also with Phil Baroni. Same type of guy, just a lot, you know, much better body and a lot smaller than Buentello.
And we got to give some props to the folks voting online at ProElite.com. 57% voted for Buentello. The majority of voters were right.
I voted for Paul Williams, just to let you know.
Coming up next, it is history in the making as Elite XC presents its first ever championship fight. Smokin' Joe Villasenor is set to take on Murilo Ninja Rua for the middleweight crown. For Rua, it's been a lifelong dream to compete in America after stints in Japan's Pride Fighting Championships and England's Cage Rage. And he's made room in his suitcase to bring the Elite XC middleweight belt back to Curitiba, Brazil.
My name is Murilo Ninja Rua, midway, Curitiba, South Brazil.
I'm really grateful for my opportunity to fight in America for the Elite XC title. I worked very hard in preparation for this fight. I trained very hard in boxing, Muay Thai, clinching, knee, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling. Everything. I'm gonna lay it all out there. Either I will leave the ring victorious, or I will be knocked out.
I promise a good show for people.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the cage, here is Murilo Ninja Rua.
Murilo Ninja Rua, the only fighter in Pride Fighting Championships history to compete in 3 different weight classes. He started at light heavyweight, fought once at heavyweight, and finished his Pride stint at middleweight. A product of the champion-producing Chuta Box Academy in Brazil, he wants to harvest more hardware for his team tonight, Bill.
Tonight he settles down to his true fighting weight. He's very excited about his U.S. debut. He's one of the most exciting fighters out there.
Right, and who is his main sparring partner? His brother, Shogun Rua, perhaps the greatest light heavyweight on the planet today. And he said, if I could stand and trade with him, then I can go with anybody.
And there you see the patriarch Rujamar Fedrigo, who is responsible for all of the success of Vanderlei Silva, Mauricio Shogun Rua, and Murilo Ninja Rua. And while Rua has his mind set on taking the belt back to South America, his opponent, Smokin' Joe Villasenor, well, of course, he has other ideas.
Joey Villasenor, middleweight, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh man, I love to compete. It's about 70% mental, the rest of it goes into physical. Weaknesses with Rua, over-aggressiveness. My strategy is try to take him out of his game, and I expect a war. You're competing on all levels. There's no thinking involved, just reacting, and I love it when my body and my mind go in sync together at that one moment. That's what defines an athlete in this sport, is who wants it most. The importance of this fight is the biggest fight of my life. It's for a world title.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, Smokin' Joe Villasenor.
Smokin' Joe Villasenor is a former King of the Cage and IFC champion who put himself on the MMA map with a 15-fight winning streak. He earned this title shot with a convincing victory over David the Crow Loazo at Elite XC's inaugural event in February in South Haven, Mississippi.
Tell you one thing about Villasenor, man, he is one of the most well-rounded fighters out there. He's got excellent boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's got lightning fast hands. He lives, eats, and breathes MMA.
You know what I really like about him? I think he's one of the best up-and-coming fighters in the world today. What I really like about him is how much he is a thinking man's fighter. He takes the emotion out early. He makes it technical, almost like he's a quarterback taking a game plan from his offensive coordinator. That's what gets him going.
This is a fight that everyone has been anticipating. Joey Villasenor, before joining Elite XC, had a short stint in Pride. That's where Murilo Ninja Rua had his longest reign as well as a fighter. And let's take you to the numbers now for this Elite XC middleweight title fight. Smokin' Joe is 31. His opponent, Murilo Ninja Rua, 4 years his junior. Villasenor 1 inch taller. They both come in at 184 pounds. Villasenor with a boxing and submission background at Greg Jackson Submission Fighting in Albuquerque, New Mexico. While, of course, Murilo Ninja Rua, a Muay Thai BJJ practitioner at Chuta Box in Brazil. Here now to introduce the combatants is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we present a middleweight world championship brought to you by Elite XC and sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the executive officers Armando Garcia. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout. From Florida, Richard Bertrand. From California, Cecil Peoples. And also from California, Marcos Rosales. And our third man in the cage, the referee in charge of this bout, is Mario Yamasaki. All right, fans, here we go. 5 5-minute rounds scheduled for the Elite XC Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches. He weighed in at 184 pounds. An all-around MMA fighter specializing in Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His record stands at 13 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, with 4 knockouts and 7 submissions to his credit. Hailing from Curitiba, Brazil, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Murilo Ninja. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 feet even. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 184 pounds. A well-versed mixed martial artist, raised in the disciplines of boxing and submission wrestling. His record stands at 23 wins, 5 losses, with 10 knockouts and 10 submissions to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, introducing Smokin' Joe Villasenor. Once again, a referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki, now to give instructions.
Well, I already gave you guys the main instructions in the locker room. I expect you guys to do a clean fight, fight strong. Good luck tonight. Touch glove.
Is it any surprise that these two are vying for a world title, representing 2 of the best camps on the planet? Villasenor gets to train with guys like Keith Jardine, Diego Sanchez, Nathan Marquardt, Rashad Evans, and Georges St. Pierre. We talk about Hua's training partners, his brother, Mauricio Shogun Hua. Like you said, possibly the best light heavyweight on the planet. Former Pride 205-pound world champion, Vanderlei Silva. This is one I have been waiting for a long, long time, Bill.
Villasenor stepping up, man, and Hua has fought just about the best on the planet.
This Elite XC World Middleweight title fight is underway. 5 5-minute rounds scheduled.
You think about who you talk about Shoot the Box Academy. What they do is they have a style of Muay Thai that is more violent than most of the other Muay Thai schools out there. They pull the head down more violently, they throw the knee more violently, but it's a lot of looping stuff.
Oh, and Villasenor hits him and rocks him with a left hook. Hua backs up and now tries to clinch and goes in to side control, looking to stack Villasenor. 78% online at ProElite.com. Pick Murilo Ninja Hua, but he's in a very precarious position now as Villasenor tries to put on the guillotine choke, but he's pinned up along the fence.
Tell you what, I don't understand that Villasenor saw that he was hurt. Instead of swarming him, he should have found a range and unloaded those hands and knees. Clearly, Hua was stunned at that point.
And clearly Hua's got the advantage on the ground too, except for the fact that
he's in side control now. There is no advantage for him there.
Reversal there by Villasenor into cross-side position, and you know what? Villasenor's game has really picked up. Not only is he now a superlative striker on his feet, this guy is becoming a master on the ground, and how can you not be when you come out of Great Jackson's camp?
No question. Hua's eating some nice right hands from Villasenor.
But the interesting thing about Villasenor here, guys, he's normally a lot more controlled than he's fighting right here.
And the one thing, too, Jay, that you always like to bring up, and it's a astute point, just because Hua's now on his back does not make it a bad place for him, especially being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner.
Especially considering he's got the leg lock right now.
He'll roll out of it, though.
As he did.
Great action to kick off this Elite XC middleweight world title fight. The crowd here in San Jose enjoying every second.
One thing we're seeing for sure is that Villasenor is dictating the pace, and with an unorthodox fighter like Hua, that's extremely important.
Now Hua begins to press ahead with lefts and rights and a knee to the belly.
What Villasenor told us the other day as he tries for a takedown right there is a lot of what Hua's going to do is Hua tries to get the back there, but
Hua's got into half guard now.
A lot of what Hua does is circular. A lot of shoot box. They throw punches circular. And Villasenor wanted to come right down the pipe. I think that's how he stunned him earlier.
Well, this is a place where Murilo Ninja Hua can definitely gain some favor with the judges.
He's trying to pass that to get the side control as well. The best place to be when you're a mixed martial artist is right there on the side to lay down some knees, some elbows, and there's not much a guy on the ground.
Active half guard now into side control by Ninja Hua. He can utilize those vicious shoot-a-box knee strikes from here. And remember, in this Elite XC World Middleweight Championship bout, elbows and forearms are allowed while the fighters are on the mat.
Again, folks, this is this is the best position where Ninja Hua is right now for a mixed martial arts fighter to be, except for in that winner's circle getting your hand raised. But during a fight, this is where you want to be, because this is where you are least vulnerable.
In the white, green, and red trunks on the bottom is Joey Villasenor. In the predominantly black trunks, it's Murilo Ninja Hua working from side control. In this, the nice knee on belly position there by Hua. It's the first of 5 rounds to determine the first ever Elite XC World Middleweight Champion.
See, knee on belly is great there for maybe a submission tournament, but I wouldn't go to mount in this position, because that's how you can get reversed, and there's too many things for a guy on bottom to roll out with. Stay right here inside. There's no threat for Hua right now inside control.
And Glaze, that's why you're sitting here with us.
And now Hua again begins to look for some opportunity to transition into a submission attempt. Great reversal here by Joey Villasenor to get back on his feet. Nicely done.
Very fast-paced fight, gentlemen. Remember, this is a 5-rounder as they trade right hands.
And this is an area where so far Villasenor has dictated the pace, but look at the tenacious Murilo Ninja Hua with a single leg takedown back to where he wants to bring this fight.
And great thing about the Shoot the Box Academy also is that pace. You just talked about the pace, Murilo. Their pace, a lot of fighters, the first time they see it, they can't deal with the pace of the Shoot the Box guys. Joey Villasenor told us the problem that he has is the first time he faces things. The first time he saw southpaw, first time he had a 10-minute round. Now,
you could see now Murilo Ninja Hua maybe trying to position for perhaps an Americana as he's focusing now on the right arm. Now maybe going for a Kimura, which is an arm lock like a figure 4 into the final 20 seconds. And it's, unfortunately we're hearing some boos, but how can they boo? This tremendous action on the ground is beyond me. This is what mixed martial arts is all about. Nice elbows being rained down by Hua. Now the knee on belly in a full mount with 5 seconds left. And again, the active guard of Villasenor. Great fight, you guys.
Has that leg, absolutely. The transition game of Hua, this is the old Hua.
That's a round that was full of mixed martial arts there, Bill.
As Villasenor eats a right hand right at the belt.
How do you guys score it, though? That's the question, Jay.
That's Shogun Hua right there. Except for that early knockout, that early stun, this is Shogun Hua so far. Let's show you how the round begins. Shogun Hua coming out. See that little short left right there? Villasenor stunned him. And right in, gave up a bad position. So let's look at the ground game off of that. Again, this sport is about position first. Bad job of position there. Now you're on the ground. Hua going for an ankle lock, but against a solid ground guy like Villasenor, he's not going to get it.
I just coined a phrase that's going to make me forever remembered in the sport of mixed martial arts, Jay. Position before submission.
Ben, you were absolutely huge. This is just Villasenor getting up. Trying to do some damage there with the punch. I tell you what, this is not the Joey Villasenor I expected to come into this fight. Because he's so analytical, sometimes that could tend to slow him down.
But remember, Murilo Ninja Hua as well has taken on some of the best fighters in the world. Comes out with a flying knee.
You think Hua watched the Robbie Lawler tape after that flying knee right there?
That's right. That one only lasted 22 seconds in Las Vegas, as long as a Las Vegas marriage, and Villasenor went down to defeat. But this time, it's Villasenor and Hua, and it's a great battle thus far. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of changes Villasenor has made coming out of round 2, because he's got one of the best coaches in Greg Jackson in his...
Right hand by Ninja.
And a knee.
Villasenor used that lead left hook earlier in the...
Another right hand.
And now it's Villasenor trying to close the distance and trying to clinch, and he comes back with a wild left. And Murilo Ninja Hua beginning to gain more and more confidence. There's a tie kick.
Villasenor needs to keep that left hand up, because he keeps getting hit with that same punch. That right looping hook. Keep that left hand up.
I tell you what, you could say that about both of these guys because they're both eating right hands.
Well, I think Murilo Ninja Hua is getting the better of the exchange.
Oh, I don't think so.
On the canvas, Murilo Ninja Hua gets it.
And the fight is over.
Murilo Ninja Hua becomes the first ever Elite XC middleweight champion. Viva Brazil!
And the shoot the box guys having a New Year's Eve party right up here cage side. This is the old Ninja Hua that really came on strong in the Pride scene in the earlier days.
Jay, it's Carnival in San Jose as Murilo Ninja Hua wins his first major mixed martial arts title. He went through quite a term in Pride Fighting Championships, actually had a sub-500 record, but he took on some of the very toughest competition, losing via split decision to both Pride middleweight and light heavyweight champ Dan Henderson at Pride 17 and UFC light heavyweight kingpin Quinton Rampage Jackson at Pride 29, but those losses have now been erased from memory, and for Smokin' Joe Villasenor, a tough pill to swallow here tonight.
Absolutely, but the one thing that Villasenor could take from this fight is I think his mistakes are pretty obvious. He could take what he did wrong in this fight, go back to the drawing board. He is complete enough to come back and be strong. Let's take two quick looks here at the knockdown. And we told you about Joey keeping his hands up right there. Gets caught because that left hand was down. The right of Ninja Hua found its mark over the left. At that point, Joey knew he was done, just gave up his back, stopped defending himself. Let's take another look. Watch the left hand here of Villasenor. Boom! It is down. Hua found it, vintage shoot the box, found the opening right over that hand, and that's what happens when fist meets chin.
And Villasenor crashed to the canvas faster than the stock market in 1929, Jay. And guess what, Jay?
I wasn't there for
our voters online, you can call them butter because they are on a roll tonight, my friend. 78% choosing Murilo Ninja Hua. They are right again, 105 around 2. Hua becomes a champion.
Did you plan this stuff beforehand?
Let's make it official now with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 5 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is now the Elite XC World Middleweight Champion, Murilo Ninja Hua.
My main man, Bill Goldberg, is in the midst of a Brazilian celebration. He is standing by with the new Elite XC World Middleweight Champion, Murilo Ninja Hua.
Okay, we got Ninja here. With the translator's help, thank God, we're going to be talking to him. Ask him. Ask Ninja what it feels like to make his debut here in the U.S. with such a decisive victory.
Ninja, como você se sente vendo sua estreia nos Estados Unidos sendo campeão?
Para mim é uma felicidade muito grande. I love you, America. Eu amo os Estados Unidos. Quero dedicar essa luta aí.
I would like to dedicate this fight.
My wife, my family, my team shoot the box, my Shogun. Father, news baby, a Deus e a minha mãe e todo mundo, e o boss. Hey boss, thank you very much.
I don't think this needs translation.
Yeah, I think that was pretty clear. Well, we have Elite XC's first middleweight champion. Everybody give him a hand. So ask Ninja when he's moving to the States.
I would like to thank the American public, Ninja says.
Eu prometo, I promise, the next fight in Elite is very, very big show for you. Thank you.
No translation needed. Here we go to Gary Shaw for the presentation of the belt.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so very much. We're proud to be here. Thank you all in this arena. As president of Elite XC, I'd like to have Todd Facito, David Marshall, Eric Pouillet and our CEO, Doug DeLuca, present the first ever, but never the last, Elite XC World Championship middleweight bout of the world to Ninja Hua!
Thank you.
Open it. Thank you, San Jose.
All right, there you have it. Murilo Ninja Hua becomes the Elite XC World Middleweight Champion. Jay, the action tonight has been fast and furious here in San Jose, California. And because of that, we are on our way to bonus action, believe it or not, for our pay-per-view audience.
And this one is going to be full of action as well. I just want to say one more thing here about Ninja Hua, the time that he has. This is a guy who has fought in so many different weight classes, stepped up to pretty much fight the best of the best. And a lot of people thought he was done. They wrote him off. He was on a losing streak before coming out here. They thought he was done. That is the old Ninja Hua, and that's what shootbox makes them so effective. That aggression, you don't see a lot of that here.
And you know what I love most about Murilo Ninja Hua? He wears his heart on his sleeve. Something tells me he's going to be celebrating listening to a little Lionel Richie and Elton John tonight.
Or Paul Williams.
Well, maybe Paul Williams as well. A great picture. And let's now bring you up to speed. It is bonus bout action here at Elite XC Strikeforce's pay-per-view. It's going to be in the lightweight division. And this guy is a very, very top fighter at 155 pounds. Josh the Punk Thomson taking on a man who's making his move to the big time, Nick the Ghost Gonzalez. And let's now take you, as the cage is still full of people, Jimmy Lennon Jr. to introduce the fighters.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring in a lightweight attraction from Austin, Texas, Nick the Ghost Gonzalez.
Nick Gonzalez fights out of the Vasquez Academy in Austin, Texas, and through his boxing training, he's developed great head and shoulder movement and has become a good defensive fighter in MMA. In fact, he is so tough to hit that he earned the nickname The Ghost. Tonight, in his highest profile fight, he'll try to scare the Punk, Josh Thomson.
You know, the thing here about the Ghost is he says that the most important thing in this fight for him is the scramble. Keep this fight on his feet, and why? Because he is a pure striker. His wrestling isn't even close to Josh the Punk Thomson's. However, this kid can hit.
You know, he tried out for the Contender, he tried out for the Ultimate Fighter, but he is hoping to make a home right here in Strikeforce in San Jose, California. And the one thing I liked about this kid, Jay, is that, you know, he came in, he knows he faces a tough test, but he is willing to definitely put it all on the line, knowing that this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Right, and he also made the K1 Max premiere, the K1 Max kickboxing tournament, which is the premier kickboxing tournament pretty much on the face of the earth.
All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr. ready to introduce his opponent.
And ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage from San Jose, California, Josh the Punk Thomson.
And the crowd here at the Shark Tank is in a frenzy for the hometown hero, Josh the Punk Thomson, one of the world's top lightweight fighters. He competed for Pride, the UFC, and in fact, at UFC 46, he beat the guy who will be challenging Sean Shirk for the lightweight title at next month's UFC 73, Hermes Franca. This guy, Thomson, is definitely a force to be reckoned with, Bill.
That he sure doesn't lack in the confidence area.
No, not at all.
Why should he? With all the wins he's had over guys like Bang Ludwig and Hermes Franca and Rob McCullough. The great thing about Josh Thomson is he is a much better wrestler than most of the people walking this planet. He realizes it, and he will use his wrestling not only for submissions, but to scare someone to drop their hands to use his strikes.
Yeah, he had a very strong Division I wrestling career at a school in California.
That will not be named.
Let's now take you to the numbers that matter. It's the tail of the tape for this lightweight contest. Bonus action here at Elite XC Strikeforce. Josh Thomson, 28, 5'10", 154 pounds with Muay Thai and submission wrestling. Nick the Ghost Gonzalez is 26, 5'6", 155 pounds with a kickboxing background. Once again, here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, Strikeforce presents lightweights in the cage. We're scheduled 3 5-minute rounds of action. Introducing to you at this time our judges scoring from cage side. From Florida, Richard Bertrand. From California, Nelson Hamilton. And also from California, Cecil Peoples. And our third man in the cage, our referee in charge of this bout, Herb Dean. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 6 inches. He weighed in at 155 pounds. He's a well-versed MMA fighter. He is a striker trained in the disciplines of boxing and kickboxing with a record of 11 wins, 4 losses, with 4 knockouts and 1 submission to his credit. Hailing from Austin, Texas, introducing Nick the Ghost Gonzalez. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches. He weighed in at 154 pounds, specializing in the discipline of kickboxing. His record stands at 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest, with 2 knockouts and 6 submissions to his credit. Fighting out of the American Kickboxing Academy from San Jose, California, here is the U.S. Strikeforce lightweight champion, Josh the Punk Thomson. Once again, a referee in charge, Herb Dean, now to give instructions.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions.
You guys, with a nickname like the Ghost, I guess it was expected that Nick Gonzalez would hear boos, right? I'm here all week, guys.
I'm not going to touch that one. All I can say is you had to be one bad dude to, first of all, have a hairdo like Josh Thomson, but second of all, to have given him the name The Punk.
Josh Thomson also very tall for a lightweight fighter at 5'10". Everything he does packs a wallop.
There is Nick the Ghost Gonzalez wearing the colors of Mexico and the United States. And in fact, he once worked out with Sports Illustrated cover boy Roger Huerta. The UFC handled himself well. So we'll wait and see if he can handle Josh the Punk Thomson here tonight. Thomson, the U.S. Strikeforce lightweight champion. This is a non-title bout. I remember calling Thomson's fight in Japan at Bushido, where he was almost submitted by Daisuke Sugie, and then came back and submitted him in fine fashion, and there he goes for the shot that Gonzalez expected.
And he will take 10, 15 shots around just to get somebody on their back or get him on the ground, exactly where Thomson wants to be. And obviously he's going to try and work for a choke from here, from behind.
Getting his hooks in and looking for the rear naked choke is the Punk Josh Thomson.
Gonzalez needs to somehow try and get his back to the mat.
I think at this point, gentlemen, the Ghost wishes he was invisible.
And I think here in the Shark Tank, Nick Gonzalez is a fish out of water. 1 minute has elapsed in this opening 5-minute round, and Thomson, very methodical, not wasting any unnecessary energy, Jay. He knows what he wants to do. He's now got the body triangle as well, and I think he's looking for the rear naked choke here.
He has to get it under the chin there, and that's why he at first had a little, I guess, chin crank, if you will, hoping to try and snake it under, but couldn't do it.
He actually had the one hook in, and now trying maybe for a body triangle, but no, yeah, see, it's a loose triangle, but he's in total control.
He has to keep that chin tucked down. Don't let Thomson get his forearm under his chin.
The crowd.
Gonzalez has been doing some training with a guy Metzger, so we're going to see if it helped with a submission defense right here.
He trained at the Lion's Den, but it's locked in. Being thrown to the Lions here in San Jose, and the crowd erupts.
At that point, they got against the cage. There was nowhere for him to go. Couldn't get his back on the mat anymore. Finally got that forearm under the chin to cut off the air.
No secret, he is indeed one of the top 155-pound fighters in the world. Josh the Punk Thomson taking Nick Gonzalez to school here tonight and winning via rear naked choke in the opening round.
And I tell you what, Josh Thomson is a catch-22 guy. He's going to scare you standing up a little bit. You're always worried about his takedowns. Suddenly he hits you, You forget that he could strike, and then your guard comes up a little bit, and he takes you down exactly where he wants to go.
He's a 28-year-old looking to fight professionally until 32. He then wants to join the Air Force and fly planes. He is flying high in his MMA career. Jay, let's take us to the first attempt at the rear naked choke.
This is when he first got him in trouble there, but notice the arm is not under the chin. Gonzalez still has his chin, and you see him trying to snake that chin down a little bit, and he's not in that much danger at that point. But what is he? He's a striker. No matter what, if you're on the ground as a striker, there's not much you can do. Now notice the difference here. His forearm gets under the chin, and notice the pretty shade of red his face soon turns.
You're becoming quite the astute MMA analyst. We might have to steal you from that other sport, AJ, on a permanent basis.
What sport would that be?
I think it's soccer. Is it called soccer? Oh, well, speaking of sportsmen, there he is, the legend Frank Shamrock. He is preparing in his dressing room for the most highly anticipated grudge match this year in mixed martial arts, Shamrock versus Baroni for the Strikeforce middleweight championship, still to come. Right now, Jimmy Lennon Jr. will make this matchup official.
Ladies and gentlemen, a rear naked choke ends this contest at 1 minute 42 seconds in round number 1. The fighter taps out. He is the winner by way of submission, Josh "The Punk" Thomson.
Love you guys.
Josh Thomson improves to 12-2 at 1:42 of round 1 with a rear naked choke. Bill Goldberg is standing by with the man who is called The Punk.
I'm here with Josh Thomson. I'm not going to sit here and call you The Punk, man, but it looked like you were having a great time out there.
How you doing, little fella?
You know, hey, I'm just hanging, man. It's your world, dude. I'm just hanging in.
I'm doing good. Everything's great. I love San Jose. Love you guys. Thanks for coming out. I'm the newest and youngest one from San Jose, trying to come down here and represent. Frank was in the past, now Cung stepping up, and then I'm coming to be the one to follow in the footsteps. I got to make sure San Jose stays on the map.
Beautiful. Take us through the choke.
Excuse me?
I said, take us through the choke.
I was able to get to his back, got both hooks in. He was fighting it off pretty well, so as soon as I got underneath the chin, I knew it was sunk. He held on a lot longer than I thought, so basically he was holding his breath, trying to fight out. So
beautiful performance. Let's hear it, San Jose, for The Punk.
Good job. Good job.
All right, Jay, so your thoughts on, I mean, again, he said it like you said it.
Yes, he is an absolute complete fighter. You know, the interesting thing, and tell me, just discuss here a little bit on this. I think, just the way I look at it, if you're getting choked out, right, and you don't have any threat of any damage, just get choked out. The only thing that really hurts when you get choked out, for people at home who thinks it really hurts, it doesn't. You go to sleep, have a nice little dream, just get choked out and try to fight it out as long as you possibly can.
Take it from me, I've been choked out by Matt Hume, Vanderlei Silva, and I'm still here, so you're right.
And tonight, Jay Glazer.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, there he is, the very popular Josh "The Punk" Thomson. As we move along, we are now set for Cung Lee versus Tony the Freak Frykland. For Cung Lee, whether it's sand show fights, K1 exhibitions, kickboxing, or MMA, I mean, this guy's never lost a match. But his opponent, Tony Frykland, is a very experienced MMA practitioner, and his ground game may be the key to handing Lee his first defeat.
Tony Frykland, middleweight, Las Vegas, Nevada. What makes a good MMA fighter is how you tie things together. My seamless transitions and my seamless translation of the art is what's going to make the difference in this fight. The weapons I choose to train in are meant to do damage. Now, a lot of what we see in Kung's game is he exploits people that don't have the ability to understand what he's doing. I do spinning back kicks, I throw spinning wheel kicks. Don't use my stuff on me, it's not going to work. I'm looking 2 or 3 steps ahead. If I can get there, the fight's over.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, Tony the Freak Frykland.
Tony the Freak Frykland was one of the top prospects of the groundbreaking Militich Fighting Systems Training Center in Battendorf, Iowa, after beginning his MMA career with a 10-2 record. Unfortunately, he's fallen on hard times recently, Bill, going 3-5, and a lot of people believe it's all in his head.
10-year veteran, MMA. I tell you what, he's an old school fighter, but the problem is that he is his own worst enemy. But is his time right now?
And what he's trying to do, guys, is try to get better at his stand-up. His ground and pound is phenomenal, but he said he's been working out stand-up with guys like Winky Wright, Bernard Hopkins. I think that's a pretty good tutor right there. Yeah.
And here's one interesting point, gentlemen. He respects and idolizes Cung Le. So what type of factor is that going to be in this fight?
None whatsoever. Once that cage door closes, you better not be in awe of the guy you're fighting, or else you're going to be asleep, not just in awe.
All right, speaking of the guy he is fighting, Cung Le is one of the flashiest fighters anywhere. Whether it is Sancho or MMA, Lee has always had the Midas touch.
Cung Le, middleweight, San Jose, California. I'm a seasoned fighter, and I know how to stay poised, and I'm going to be patient. You got to kick me out of the gym. So I have to do everything from stand-up to the ground to escape to being on top. Well, I'm a stand-up fighter. I prefer knockout. Tony comes forward. He likes to brawl. He's going to walk right into a whole bunch of crazy moves, punches, kicks, spin kicks. What makes me a good MMA fighter? I want to keep learning. Everything that I can learn, I want to learn. For me, I'll always be the student of the game.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Cung Le.
You guys, San Jose is known for its earthquake. I think we're in the epicenter of a human earthquake right now. Cung Le's life story, one tailor-made for the silver screen. At the age of 2, he and his mother escaped war-torn Vietnam for a better life in the USA. And guess what? He has become a martial arts icon right here in his adopted hometown of San Jose. Bill, this must bring back memories for you because this place is on fire.
I tell you what, you could not write a better story than this Cung Le story right here, except for tonight. He's facing his toughest competition yet in the MMA arena.
Cung Le almost transcends martial arts because he's almost looked at as one of those Hollywood action figures by just mainstream martial arts fans over the time. But I tell you what, there are two things that this guy does great because he's a former Sanchow fighter. A, his throws are fantastic, and B, his strikes are very, very strong, especially those kicks.
You know what? Sin City, Las Vegas may be known as the home of MMA right now, but San Jose is definitely giving it a run for its money. Let's take you now to the tail of the tape for this middleweight matchup. Cung Le is 35, 5'10", 179 pounds with a Sancho background, the Chinese martial art, which includes throws and takedowns. Frykland is 36, 5'10", 177.5 pounds. He is a freestyle fighter. No one does it like this guy does it. It's Jimmy Lennon Jr. with your introductions.
Well, fans, this matchup coming your way is brought to you by Strikeforce. We introduce to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from cage side, all from California. We have Nelson Hamilton, Cecil Peoples, and Marcos Rosales. And our referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Herb Dean. All right, fans, here we go with a Strikeforce middleweight special attraction, scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches, he weighed in at 177.5 pounds. He is a freestyle fighter with a record of 14 wins and 8 losses, with 6 knockouts and 8 submissions to his credit. Hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada, introducing Tony the Freak Frykland. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches. He weighed in at 179 pounds, trained in the disciplines of Sancho, kickboxing, and wrestling. He is undefeated in his MMA campaign with a record of 3 wins, no losses. All 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the U.S., the North American, and the world Sancho champion, the undefeated MMA sensation from San Jose, California, introducing Cung Lee. Once again, a referee in charge of the bout, Herb Dean, now to give instructions.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions at all times. We're going to keep the fight clean. Touch gloves. Come out ready to do this.
Guys, I gotta tell you, here in San Jose, Cung Lee is as popular as Bruce Lee ever was. And I'm saying something. This is amazing. And the reception this guy received here tonight.
It is electric. From each fight that goes,
yeah,
this crowd gets more into it because it's one of their own out there battling.
And Tony the Freak Frykland looking to get freaky in an MMA sense, the 2 touch gloves, and just listen to this crowd, would you?
The great thing about Cung Lee also is he will not just try and win it, but he'll try and win it in spectacular fashion. He puts on a show.
He puts the O in ostentatious, my friend, and look at these kicks. I mean, they are just like a work of art, and there is an axe kick, and Frykland looking to capitalize.
Axe kick is not smart in this sport, though, especially when you go against a takedown artist, and Tony Frykland's wrestling is pretty decent.
Look at these body kicks, head kicks.
Let's not forget Cung Lee did some wrestling in high school there, so it's
very
not as
successful wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I tell you what, guys, Tony Frykland does not want to stand there like this and get into a Sancho matcher. He wants to take down Cung Lee and try and force some ground and pound. We have not seen anybody ground and pound Cung Lee ever.
There's a nice right hand by Cung Lee, a kick back by Frykland. Frykland staying in the pocket, trying to, you know, I mean, that's got to play a big role when he hears the reception that the crowd gives his opponent. I don't care who you are. You can say you try to mentally block it out, but that's one area where Frykland admittedly has told us he's had problems is with the mental game lately.
No question. And when you got a guy in front of you, such a dynamic fighter like Cung Lee, and guys, I got to tell you, I have never seen anybody throw techniques like this in the ring.
But I don't understand why Tony Frykland's standing there unless it's just an ego thing. Let me show the world I can take it. Take Cung Lee down, at least attempt it.
Well, I was going to say, with apologies to the NCAA, we're looking at a guy with educated feet. That left foot from Yale, the right foot from Harvard, and Tony Frykland is getting an education here tonight.
Tony Frykland should fake up high and drop down and try and see what Cung Lee can do on the ground. Don't stand there with a man who obviously is just much more dominant with you.
Listen to this crowd, guys.
Oh, geez. Ate the right hand, went for the spinning back fist.
The one thing I think interesting about Cung Lee's style here is it still is kickboxing Sancho. He stands up upright a little bit too much against a more experienced striker. He can get caught.
Nice counter there by Frykland as Lee went for the spinning back kick. Frykland looking for the takedown, but man, Cung Lee, his striking is absolutely precise. And you know, even though he's preparing for the main event grudge match in that Strikeforce World Middleweight titles, Frykland now begins to unload Lee. Do you think Frank Shamrock's got an eye on this fight after what's been said in the media about what he had to say about Cung Lee saying fighting Phil Baroni is like fighting Cung Lee on his day off?
I don't think Shamrock is worrying about this fight. I think Shamrock's going to have his hands full with Baroni as Frykland gets rocked. I'll tell you what, Cung Lee is picking him apart at will, landing shots.
Give it up for Frykland to pop back to his feet.
Give it up for Herb Dean not stopping it prematurely.
Well done, Jay, you're right.
That shows a little bit of militancy in him. He does not ever give up. 10-year veteran in MMA, he's still on his feet.
But guys, I still don't understand. Now he knows Cung Lee's power. Why are you standing there with that man?
You guys,
take him to the ground.
I've called fights in Saitama Super Arena with 35,000 fans. I have never seen an atmosphere as electric for this fight here tonight in San Jose. Cung Lee and Tony Frykland with a minute and a
This is one dynamic fighter, guys. Hit him with the heel. Spinning heel kick.
Have you guys ever seen someone like Cung in MMA? This guy's amazing.
No, not at all. Not even close.
The Frykland's also standing there with his hands down.
All the props, though.
But he's standing there with his hands down, guys. I got to tell you, it's just not a smart game plan on his end.
But a lesser man, I think, would have already been stopped, Jay.
Absolutely. I'll give him props for his chin, but a lot of times, because there's so much ego involved in the sport, they say, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to stand here with your style.
Finds the target again with that spinning heel kick, and really, there's a...
That hurt him. That hurt him, gentlemen. Took the wind right out of him, and there it goes again.
Now it's just target practice.
This is unbelievable. Tony Frykland getting attacked at will with every type of kick known to mankind.
I don't know what's gotten into his head, but this is not the way to attack Cung Lee.
Look how relaxed Cung Lee is also. I'm very impressed with. This is a new sport for him, pretty much. I'm very impressed with how relaxed he's standing.
He is undefeated in his embryonic mixed martial arts career at 3-0. Tony Frykland, though, staying in the pocket, needs to try to figure something out. It looks like he may indeed survive the opening 5 minutes, but he's definitely going to have to reassess his game plan. Less than 5 seconds, and Frykland now trying to push ahead, misses with a spinning back fist as the round comes to a close.
Guys, I can't wait for the replay of this because we're going to see a whole lot of feet, fists, flying, everything. There's that foot to the body, foot to the head. Usually a 1-2 combination is right hand, left hand. For Cung Lee, it's foot against foot. Then you see him duck one of Tony Frykland's left crosses, follows up with two nice short hooks.
Beautiful.
And then look what he follows up. He goes in for blood, follows up with that foot, and that is just a spinning crescent kick that you see. You talked about Bruce Lee. That's one of those old Bruce Lee movie kicks.
And it's target practice for Cung Lee right now.
Hey, you know what? I really hope that Tony Frykland's corner is going in there and saying, all right, enough standing up there with one of the best strikers we've seen. Take this to the ground. If you get beat on the ground, so be it. Don't lose to what this guy's bread and butter is.
See Jeff Sherwood of SureDog.com already out there, too, always covering the MMA events. And Cung Lee and Tony Frykland, you guys, is this what they mean by the agony of defeat, Jay?
The hands and defeat.
You're just bringing out your entire book tonight, aren't you, Murilo?
I wrote the book. Or what did Phil Baroni say? That Frank Shamrock's reading the book he wrote? Well, I got a few books of my own. Frykland
I don't
and
think
Lee.
you read Phil Baroni's book.
Listen again at these kicks. I mean the effects, the impact of them.
Well, the snap that he gets on those kicks, the amount of hip that he puts in, the torque that he gets.
You're right. There you go with what Jay Glazer alluded to. But see, Frykland is stuffed at every opportunity.
Yeah, but he shot up high.
To shoot.
Go down low. He shot up high there. And it was only one. Keep trying it. You can't stop on one.
Cung Lee's got one gear, you guys, straight ahead. I mean, there it is again, spinning back kick.
Gentlemen, this is amazing. I've just got to say, as a fan of the sport, watching Cung Lee in there is like art.
I'd heard about Cung Lee. I'd seen him in his Sancho. I'd seen him in K1. But he is becoming a master in mixed martial arts, and it's all because of what got him to the dance, you guys.
But let me make the statement, gentlemen. Anything can happen at any time in MMA, so do not count out Frykland.
Definitely, and we yet to see him on the ground. We don't know what Cung Lee's ground game is like.
That's exactly why Frykland should try and take him. Then Frykland sat with us 2 days ago and said, my ground and pound is awesome. Okay, well, take him down and let's see how awesome it is.
But he also said every technique that Cung Lee has, I have also. Yeah. So maybe he wanted to stand and show that he had what Cung Lee had.
Again, and look at that kick right up the rib cage again of Tony Frykland.
At least you know what you do here, guys. If you don't want to take him down, get him against the cage. Don't let him sit there and have all the space in the world to throw these acrobatic kicks at you.
Well, what you want to do is take him to some unfamiliar territory for Cung Lee. And as far as we've seen, he ain't been able to do it.
Oh, nice. Lots of snap to that outside cut kick. Again, going upstairs with a head. Comes back with the left right down the pipe.
I think Cung Lee's just having an awful lot of fun here, guys.
And look at his head movement, even avoiding the right hand of Frykland. And how can you not have fun when you've got thousands upon thousands, a huge crowd on hand here at the Shark Tank firmly behind you?
It's interesting, too, though, guys. Usually a southpaw, he usually circles the other way, outside a guy's lead left hand. Instead, Cung Lee's going the other way. Everything is a little unorthodox with him.
Oh, man, that body body shock again. The shot shocking his body. And now Frykland tries to move ahead and try to test the chin of Cung, and Cung does a good job of avoiding it.
Frykland talking to him there as well. Nice combination. You have an uppercut followed by a midsection kick.
You've got to admire the way he combines his strikes with the punches and the kicks.
And you know what? He told us that also. He said, I don't have your basic 1, 2, and 3. You're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coming from all different directions.
I don't think he has a basic anything. And again, Frykland going to the well and again missing with that spinning back fist, Bill.
Now it seems as if he's trying to cut him off and set him up for that spinning back fist. It's the third time he's thrown it. He hasn't landed it yet, but you never know.
Frykland actually seems like his confidence is growing a little bit, saying this guy's throwing the kitchen sink at me. I'm still here. I'm moving forward.
He's a warrior, and again, he's one of the early pioneers of mixed martial arts. This guy was a household name back in the day in MMA. We talked about him starting out with the vaunted Miletich Academy, the fighting systems in Bendorf under Pat Miletich, training with guys like Robbie Lawler, Jens Palver, Tim Sylvia. I mean, this guy's trained with some of the best.
Frykland has got to be able to close the distance and give himself an opportunity to win this fight.
What Frykland was doing there, guys, he was dancing around, dancing back, because he was clearly hurt to the midsection trying to catch his wind.
He is an extremely tough kid, gentlemen.
And Lee catches Frykland on the chin with a back fist. Yeah, very tough, double tough. Bill.
Oh, he ate a knee right there, gentlemen.
Final minute of this second round. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely love to see a round 3. This has been some spectacular stuff by Cung. And here comes Tony Frykland with a flurry of his own. Lee now again attacking the back of the leg with that kick.
He's attacking the legs, the body, the head, everything.
He is dissecting Frykland. He is absolutely dissecting the freak.
Looks at this fight, man. You're going to need a tow truck to get Frykland out of here after it.
But man, again, I got to give it up for Tony Frykland. The word surrender not in his vocabulary. He is willing to make it a fight tonight for these fans in San Jose. 10 seconds remaining in the round.
I also got to give it up to Cung for not getting overexcited after any of these shots. Very composed fighter.
And there's a spinning back fist by Lee. What haven't we seen in his arsenal? Does he have something called the kitchen sink, and are we going to see it? All right, from this middleweight, we go to the New York Badass. He's already pripping. He is preening. He is getting ready to battle Frank Shamrock in the main event for the Strikeforce Middleweight Championship. You may not like him, but you might have to learn to love him. He is the New York Badass, Phil Baroni.
And thank God, gentlemen, but round 3 is coming up.
Never met a mirror he didn't like. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the toughest of them all? Will it be Baroni tonight, Jay?
I tell you what, Phil Baroni is going to come down. You think this is exciting? Folks, wait to see our main event.
I think that was exciting. I think she's higher than a 3.
Let's take a look at the replay here and watch Cung. He will kick you anywhere. Look, he gets a little position there, decides to go down low, and then comes right back up high after that.
Solid shot.
The roof has already been raised here at the Shark Tank, but I think we are about to hear the thunder in Northern California. We are all set for the third and final round. Cung. On the left of your screen, Tony Frykland in the bleached blonde hair in this corner, and the third and final round underway, Bill.
And as you saw when they came out and touched gloves, Frykland's smiling, man. Looks like he's enjoying this, but if I were him, I wouldn't be too happy right now.
Those kicks up high, by the way, guys, they're like jabs. They're not really going to knock you out. Now, those ones that come like that, those will do damage.
Yeah, I beg to differ, Glazer, man. I love you, but any one of those kicks are going to knock you. There you go.
Puts him down on the canvas permanently. Listen to the reaction of this crowd. Did anybody say Cung for mayor of San Jose?
Think he would win hands down. Tony Frykland bending over, holding his midsection at one point. Clearly, he has taken a beating there to the midsection. A very, very tough game opponent, but there's going to be an awful lot of ice bags tonight.
Yeah, hats off to Tony Frykland, proving his toughness, but simply being beat tonight by Cung, who improves to 4-0, and definitely finally put on a show for the hometown crowd at 25 seconds of the final round. He records a very impressive win.
Billy and I could agree to disagree. Those straight jab kicks, that's what they are. They're pretty much jabs. What does the damage is when Cung Lee gets the torque, brings his hips around, and he swings with those kicks that are like getting hit with a bat.
Jay, now that he can't hear us because he's up in the cage, I agree with you.
Yeah, you do, I know. But I guarantee when he comes back down, he'll say, Billy, I'm all on your side, buddy.
There he is, the winner. The look of maybe a future champion. I mean, unbelievable. Let's revisit the action, Jay. It was very impressive stuff.
Look at Cung Lee. I tell you what, that body shot hurt. Again, he gets that torque, follows, goes from body to head, and then the fists get involved. At that point, Tony Frykland had just taken too much of a beating. See, he's already bending down.
Yeah,
when you see that, because that shot to the body took the wind out of him, he just took too many shots to the body. And eventually, you go after the body, the head will crumble and follow.
Him doubling over like that was like a red flag to the Raging Bull, Cung Lee. And we take a look here at the final seconds here. Cung Lee putting it to Tony Frykland. The punch, the right hook heard round San Jose. Down goes Frykland, and the gymnastics celebration begins. All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr. will now make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 25 seconds in round number 3. A referee in charge, Herb Dean, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout and still undefeated, Cung Lee.
Great show of sportsmanship there by Tony Frykland. He put up a hell of a fight, just simply overwhelmed. And Bill Goldberg now is standing by with the victor.
Yeah, I'm here with Cung Lee. Looks like you're going to be running for mayor here soon.
No, not for mayor. I just got to thank the Lord for giving me the strength for tonight. I had a rough 2 months. You know, it's just, you know, the fans, you guys were so loud, I can barely hear right now. So I'm sorry I didn't hear that question right. First of all, I'd like to thank the fans, my family, my girl for putting up with me. You know, it's been tough. 2 months, I've been grouchy, I've been hungry. I'm looking forward to some pizza and chocolate chip cookies. And, you know, I gotta thank all my sponsors, but right now I'm not thinking straight, so it's on my shorts. I love you guys. Thank you.
Okay, Cung, let's look up at the replay. How about this?
It's the body kicks. Caught him. I knew if I stay on him, that side was open. I took the overhand right and caught him, and I felt like I didn't need to do more except some backflips and almost lose my balance and smash my face right there, but that's what I did.
I got to tell you, man, as one of the biggest MMA fans out there, thank God you got into MMA, because we have never seen a more dynamic MMA participant. You got me flustered.
I got to thank God. That's right. He made it all happen. And also my trainer, Javier Mendez, he talked me into it. After 2.5 years, I finally did MMA, and so far, last year was my rookie year, and I think I graduated into a little bit of a pro, amateur, whatever.
4-0, man. It's not like you beat somebody with no experience. Frykland has been around for a while, militant system. You know, you should be very, very proud of yourself. Everybody, let's hear it for Cung Lee.
Thank you, everyone. I love you guys. After party is at the Vivid. I'm gonna party, and you know, I gotta thank Tony, because I haven't fought that long. All my rounds last year, 3 rounds put together, this was the longest fight I had. Thank you very much for the experience.
Cung Lee knows his way to MMA in San Jose. He is definitely a king here in Northern California, Jay.
I tell you what, I think he's going to be a king throughout America as well, because this guy simply gets it. I think he's going to end up being a marketer's dream. He's going to be Hollywood's dream. He is one of the next big, great things to happen to this sport. Technically, he's fantastic. Marketing-wise, he's fantastic. Guys, he gets it.
He is the total package. He is Cung Lee, celebrating another victory here tonight. Oh, my goodness, that's awesome.
Is that you, Maura? How are you there and here at the same time?
Going for a little body slam action there.
And that's what's great about this sport. Every athlete in this sport goes out, celebrates with the fans out there. You don't see this in other sports.
No, what a night of fights so far, Jay. It's been amazing action thus far. We've seen some incredible knockout finishes, submissions, and of course, some knockouts of a different kind. The Elite XC girls dancing up a storm on the stage.
You okay? Are you okay, buddy? I know when we take shots like that, you get a little...
My heart is already spoken for, Mr. Glazer. All right, we are just about set for our highly anticipated main event as local San Jose favorite Frank Shamrock gets set to square off with the New York badass Phil Baroni. For the last several months, this fight has been fought in the media and especially on the internet. But the war of words is over. The war in the cage is about to begin.
Well, I train in submission fighting, and submission fighting is one of those generic terms for whatever works. Every day I live my life in the martial arts, and I live it like I am a student of the arts.
I'm a student of the game. Like I said, I grew up watching Frank Shamrock. I know him better than he does, better than his wife.
When I walk out in the arena, I take the energy of the people and I allow it to flow through my body like an electrical charge. And I use that charge to fire me up.
Frank Shamrock's talking a big game, you know. He's gonna stand with me, he's gonna knock me out. I'm the fucking knockout artist. As far as he goes, I'm gonna hit him and forget him. You know, he can't hurt me. He wants to go punch for punch, he can't hurt me. And I'm gonna hurt him bad. This is it, this is my destiny, man. I've been working so hard for this goal, and this is my opportunity. You know, I've been waiting for a title shot forever.
And when the people see what's inside of here and what I can do with these, then it's over. Now they're Frank Shamrock fans.
Better be fucking ready, because I'm gonna be ready. And I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming to get you.
All right, we are now ready for our main event as Elite XC and Strikeforce team up to present the long-awaited grudge match for the Strikeforce World Middleweight title, Frank Shamrock against Phil Baroni. The bad blood between these two has reached a boiling point. As we take a look, it's coming up. Frank Shamrock, Phil Baroni for the Strikeforce middleweight title. The atmosphere has reached a fever pitch here inside the HP Pavillion. We are just moments away from the most talked about main event of the year. And Bill Goldberg, it is unbelievable the atmosphere that we have here tonight, but something tells me it's going to get even more electric in just a few moments. Frank Shamrock helped put mixed martial arts on the map back in the day. What makes him such a special athlete?
Well, Murilo, when you talk about Frank Shamrock, you talk about one of the true pioneers of MMA. He uses an analytical approach, not only when it comes to his own preparation, but most importantly, when it comes to dissecting his opponent. Shamrock puts the art in mixed martial arts.
And Jay Glazer, while Mr. Shamrock may pride himself on being an artist, Phil Baroni couldn't give a you-know-what. This guy's the exact opposite.
Last I saw, this is not being fought at the Guggenheim Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Louvre. It's being fought in a six-sided cage, and that's what Phil Baroni said. He said, what is this art thing? This is not about art. This is a fight. If he thinks he's going to an art gallery, well, he's going to get knocked out at an art gallery, at a cage, whatever you want to call it.
All right, guys, it's true. Bill, Jay, the time for talking is over. For the New York badass Phil Baroni, a man never at a loss for words and someone who has demonstrated one-punch knockout power, he believes this fight will be over in a New York minute.
Phil Baroni, the New York badass, a middleweight, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been a fighter my whole life. I trade hard. You know, I trade harder than anybody. I mean, anyone that's seen me train knows I train hard. I go the extra mile. If
feud between me and Shamrock. That's why everybody's here tonight. Time to fight. Time to put up or shut up. You know, I'm gonna shut him up. I got 2 weapons. This and this. When I put one on his chin, it's gonna be enough. More than enough. It's gonna end violently tonight. I'm gonna separate him from consciousness.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, known as the New York Badass, Phil Baroni.
Love him or hate him, Phil Baroni can definitely talk the talk. You might even refer to him as the Baron of Bloviation. But tonight, the New York Badass will make the walk to the cage, intent on becoming the Strikeforce World Middleweight Champ and giving Frank Shamrock a beating he will never forget in the process.
Baroni's made headlines by becoming the most controversial and outspoken fighters in the damn world, pretty much. He's a devastating fighter, though. One-punch knockout power. So he can talk all the trash he wants, but at any time, he can knock your ass out.
The great thing about Phil Baroni, 2 things, guys. He's a great finisher, but also he's a great marketer. Check out this ring walk, all the stuff he said. He's Barnum, Bailey, Shavers, and Tyson wrapped up all in one.
And he is dancing his way to the cage. I mean, this guy loves the crowd. No matter if you boo him, no matter if you cheer him, this guy is all about marketing a fight. He knows how to sell a fight, and he promises to deliver tonight.
And you need those type of personalities.
Absolutely.
You have to.
And you know, the key is what you just said, a fight. No matter what you say, guys, you get in there, all the technical stuff we've talked about, it still is a fight. And that's what Phil Baroni does best.
All right, now the object of Baroni's ire, Frank Shamrock, is a mixed martial arts legend and a San Jose fan favorite. Shamrock considers himself the Michelangelo of MMA, and he's more than willing to use Baroni's blood to paint his masterpiece.
Frank Shamrock, I'm a middleweight, San Jose, California.
I've been the man to beat for a long time. I mean, I go to gyms and everybody wants to beat me, crush me, kill me. I want to be the best. So I always train each day to be the best in my art. My best weapon against Phil Baroni is my mind. Phil thinks that he's going to knock me out. And when you've been through the wars I've been through, when you live my life in the cage, when you look at Phil, you'll understand that he's barking up the wrong tree. This fight's going to be fast and furious from the get-go. Phil's going to come for him. And that's part of my strategy. He thinks he's going to outstrike me, and he's got another world coming. He loves to talk smack. I love to beat people up. I will win this fight because I'm an old cage dog, and you got to kill me to get me out of there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Frank, the legend Shamrock.
No need to tell you who the fan favorite is here at the Shark Tank, donning a Sharks jersey. He is a man of first, the first UFC light heavyweight champion, the first or one of the first mixed martial artists to incorporate cross-training. Tonight, Billy wants to be the first Strikeforce World Middleweight Champ.
He wants to add another trophy to his case. He's got more trophies in that case than most of these guys do have teeth.
And I tell you what, guys, a little late breaking news, if you will. Before the fight, Frank Shamrock came down, told me that he has torn his ACL and MCL about a week ago in training. I said, what's that prevent you from doing? He said, I can't shoot. I can't shoot him for a takedown. Now, whether that's Frank being Frank, because Bill, you know how good of a salesman he is, or if it really is in fact torn, that remains to be seen.
Frank's got a little bit of pro wrestling in him, just like Baroni, man. It's all about marketing, and it may be all about throwing your opponent off also, because you know when in the fighter's meeting, when he comes in limping, he knows that we're going to open our big mouths.
You know, when it comes to Frank Shamrock, it's all about the psychological warfare. Phil Baroni, it's the verbal warfare. It is time to begin the warfare for the Strikeforce World Middleweight title. Let's bring you the tale of the tape. And here it is. Frank the Legend Shamrock is 34, 5'10", 184 pounds with a submission fighting background. Phil Baroni is 31, 5'9", 183 pounds. He's a boxer and a brawler. Both of them want to be Strikeforce World Middleweight Champion. It is going to be one hell of a main event. And here now to introduce the particulars is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HP Pavilion here in San Jose, California for the featured bout of the evening, sponsored by Rockstar Energy Drink and brought to you by Elite XC, Strikeforce, and Showtime. This championship attraction is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the executive officer Armando Garcia. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout. From Florida, Richard Bertrand. From California, Nelson Hamilton. And also from California, Cecil Peoples. And our third man in the cage, our referee in charge of this bout from Las Vegas, Nevada, Steve Mazzagatti. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. Five-minute round scheduled for the Strikeforce Middleweight World Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and MMA fans joining us around the world, live from San Jose, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches, he weighed in at 183 pounds. He is a boxer brawler with an MMA record of 10 wins, 7 losses, with 7 knockouts and 2 submissions to his credit. He is originally from Long Island, New York, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the dangerous and hard-hitting fighter known as the New York Badass, introducing Phil Baroni. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches, he weighed in at 184 pounds. One of MMA's truly complete fighters, known for his submission fighting and striking. His record stands at 21 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw, with 2 knockouts and 13 submissions to his credit. Hailing from San Jose, California, he is recognized as the pioneer and prototype of modern MMA. Please welcome the former King of Pancrase and the former UFC middleweight champion, introducing Frank the Legend Shamrock. Our referee in charge, Steve Mazzagatti.
All right, gentlemen, this is it. We want a good, clean, fair fight. You need to obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. Hook them up. Hook them up, guys. Good luck.
The lovely brunette next to the blonde you saw moments ago on your screen is Phil Baroni's new fiancée. They got engaged last Thursday. What better way to celebrate than with a title victory here tonight? It's the New York Badass against the Legend. Bad blood, bad intentions.
I tell you what, Phil Baroni told us the other day, I've wanted this guy since I was in college. My mom and stepdad sent me a tape early UFC of Frank Shamrock. That's who I've wanted this entire time.
The main event is underway. 59% of the voters online at ProElite.com have picked the New York Badass to become the Strikeforce World Middleweight Champion. And Baroni already unloading on Shamrock along the fence. Phil Baroni wasting little time in showing his pugilistic power, but Frank Shamrock, he's been in many wars, and as we've stated, the prototype of modern MMA, Bill, this guy has seen it all, but he
and Baroni takes down Shamrock.
I think that's where Shamrock wants to be.
Well, no question.
But remember, he told us that he couldn't shoot because of that knee. Well, how are you going to take him down there?
And we have to watch that knee as Baroni again tags him with the right hand. Shamrock comes back with a body kick.
One thing I can tell you, gentlemen,
Shamrock tags Baroni.
Shamrock is not afraid of Baroni or his power. As you can see by him standing there trading shots.
This crowd is as electric as the action in the ring, and you see Shamrock taunting Baroni, saying he's going to put him to sleep.
Old school versus new school. And he's asleep. Oh my God.
Shamrock knocks down the New York Badass and is going for the choke.
It's over, gentlemen.
Loading up Baroni. It ain't over till the bell rings. Like Yogi Berra, another New Yorker used to say, it ain't over till it's over. And Baroni is still alive.
And Shamrock's taunting him.
Shamrock should get distance and start throwing those punches.
Mazzagatti may take away a point here for hits behind the head.
Behind the head, the rabbit punches, and for the second time on Elite XC, Frank Shamrock breaks the rules.
And Phil is wobbly. He's over there in his corner, and he is swaying back and forth.
You all right?
But what Shamrock should have done there, guys, is put a little distance and continue to rain down punches. Should have seen the blood.
The atmosphere is unbelievable.
And Baroni's been one to doubt himself in the past.
Another takedown by Baroni, but like you say, Shamrock is not worried about being here. Now maybe maneuvering for a possible attempt at a triangle. Baroni, though, trying to clean out the cobwebs in the process.
Shamrock's one of the craftiest guys ever that stepped in the MMA ring, so you never know what's going to happen with him on his back.
Baroni needs to post up. Don't just sit there with his head down in your chest. Post up so you don't get caught in one of those submissions.
Shamrock has a very tight, close guard, and now Baroni beginning to unload from the guard.
And the one thing about Baroni also, folks, usually if he's going to get you, he's going to get you early on in a fight. The longer it goes, the more it sways in Shamrock's
favor. A crucial point already taken away for Frank Shamrock. Let's not forget that. 10-point must system, Strikeforce middleweight title on the line. No elbows or knees to the head on a grounded opponent. They're back up on their feet.
Looks like they're both having a very good time in there, gentlemen. We're witnessing some history here.
Oh, and again, Baroni gets tagged. Now goes for the single leg, but Shamrock, color me impressed with his stand-up.
I'm impressed with his unbelievable power he's got with his stand-up.
And now rattling the rib cage with those body shots.
And look at Baroni's side.
2 minutes left in what has been a frenetic first round.
As Frank looks over here, looks like he's just having a day, a walk in the park, gentlemen.
I don't think Baroni is yet to recover from those rabbit punches to the back of the head. Now,
great position right here by Frank Shamrock also.
And running down some left and rights, and there's a nice escape by Baroni back up to his feet.
Because he gave up that position, he got a little overexcited as we said it.
Oh, and Baroni gets tagged with the jab.
But Baroni has no head movement.
Baroni is out on his feet, you guys. He needs to clean out the cobwebs.
He's getting picked apart by Shamrock.
But look at his head. It's just sitting right there. It is a stagnant
target. He's a sitting duck, and he is getting taunted by Shamrock.
Getting more and more confident.
Yeah.
There's a knee right to the middle. Unbelievable warfare. This is what mixed martial arts is all about. Frank Shamrock and Phil Baroni. The gamesmanship, the verbal warfare. Now they're swinging for the fences.
Baroni's putting that mouthpiece out at the end of his lips there. That's not the smartest thing to be doing.
Shamrock needs to pick up the pace. He knows that he can smell the blood in the shark tank. Baroni trying desperately now. A series of uppercuts. If Baroni can survive the round, it would be a huge victory on his part.
We've seen Baroni stand there stagnant and just throw jabs. That's not the Phil Baroni that we're used to seeing. Look at his head, it's just there.
Look at his face.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah, he needs to get out of this round, and I'm surprised that Frank Shamrock isn't turning it up. Now he does. Lefts and rights, and you never can question Baroni's beard as he secures a takedown.
What a battle. What a battle. Looks like he's going to survive this round.
And because of the point deduction, this round will probably, unless they judges here today, it could be a 9-8 round or a 9-9 round. Baroni securing a moral victory, and that it looks like he is going to survive what could have been a very devastating opening round.
I tell you what, if they did not...
I'm looking at a very demoralized Phil Baroni sitting on his bench.
Phil Baroni recruited one of the top striking coaches, Sean Tompkins, and he knows how to calm his fighters down, but my oh my, Frank Shamrock lighting Baroni up.
Well, he got him first with a straight cross and followed up with a 3 after that, and then goes for the guillotine. But in the process of going for the guillotine, he gives up position and starts punches to the back of the head, rabbit punches against the rules. That could have a factor in the outcome of this fight if it goes to a decision. Now watch this. We have his fists again. Same thing, overhand right, and then tries to follow up with his feet. And Baroni, you know what that is right there? That is just trying to get in a defensive position so he's not standing up anymore for more of those twos, those straight right crosses. That's called a 2.
Shamrock's confidence building while on his back. He flashed the V for victory sign to photographer Tom Casino, and round 2 is now underway.
Same thing, though.
Nice overhand right by Baroni. Shamrock goes in with a tie clinch, delivers a knee, but Baroni seems to once again have his feet under him, and now goes in with a left hook. How much of a factor, Bill, do you think that point deduction will be in the first round, knowing that Baroni had a chance to recover?
I don't think it was a factor. I think, if anything, it just evened up the round.
But considering what Baroni went through then, that's got to be a big bonus for him, because he was absolutely obliterated in that opening round.
Again, the one thing that could do is make it a 9-9 round. I don't see it that way, though. I see a 9-8 round. What about you, Billy?
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you never know with these judges these days, gentlemen.
Hey, you know what, though, Bill? You've seen a lot of Phil Baroni. Look at him there. That's not his boxing style to just sit there with his head.
No, he's stationary, man. He's stationary, and when you do that with a guy like Shamrock, you know, you're going to get in trouble.
And he's lunging with his jabs, and what that is doing is that it's opening up for Shamrock to come over with that, too.
You know, there's an overhand right by Baroni when Shamrock left the sport at the peak of his game, going undefeated at 5-0, and as a champion in the UFC, many people wondered what he would be like when he came back. It's starting to seem that he is one of the smartest men in the world, because now that the sport is enjoying unprecedented popularity, he is putting on a show here in the main event.
And he ate a body shot and a knee from Baroni that made him back up, and he's taking notice of that one for sure.
Now Baroni comes in, beautiful left.
He's got some vicious body shots.
And it looks like Baroni now beginning to get his confidence back a bit, although you look at his eyes, there's a mouse under his left eye, and he's now beginning to smile a bit. What a battle we are having here for the Strikeforce World Middleweight Championship.
The other day, Frank Shamrock said, I'd love to have 100 Phil Baronis. He is tailor-made for my style. First round, 100% correct.
Well, he might as well deal with the first Phil Baroni, because this fight ain't over yet. Another nice left hook by Baroni. And Shamrock tags him and then does a little pirouette.
One of these guys got to start throwing their punches and kicks and combinations, though. Not one at a time, not one kick at a time.
And there may be some credence to the fact that Shamrock may be hurt, because he hasn't attempted a shot yet on Phil Baroni. So perhaps he is injured, and Baroni rocks Shamrock with that shot.
What a seesaw battle, gentlemen. We're witnessing one hell of an MMA fight here.
And we've got the best seats in the house. We hope you're enjoying it. Now Shamrock lights Baroni up.
This, boys, is the way you stand up and fight.
Yeah, Baroni's gassed, though, guys.
2 minutes left in the second round.
And people want to know, why is he gassed? He hasn't thrown that many punches. When you take a beating, people at home, it takes the wind out of you.
He gets shots and he's getting hurt. And again, he goes for the takedown. Good sprawl by Shamrock. Now perhaps looking for the guillotine choke. But Baroni, you cannot question his heart or his fortitude. He is getting picked apart, and yet he remains in the game, and Shamrock now looks like he may attempt a Kimura.
You know, it's surprising, gentlemen, because many a person would have thought that Baroni would be the one delivering the shots, and Shamrock would go for the shoot when he was in trouble. It's the opposite of that.
And again, Shamrock said he can't go for the shoot because of the injury. Maybe that's the case, as he now swivels around, has his back, looking for the Mataleo. In Portuguese, the lion kill. Will he be able to kill the New York badass with the rear naked choke here tonight? I'm speaking figuratively, of course.
Listen to the crowd
chin. Phil just needs to try and fight this out, and Phil has been choked out before where that's happened.
Phil is struggling, but still maintaining, trying to strike. There's a smile on Shamrock's face.
He's out. He's out.
Frank Shamrock is your Strikeforce World Middleweight Champion.
He's coming to him. Relax, relax.
I have never in my mixed martial arts career heard a crowd louder than this right now, Jay. I was in Columbus, Ohio, when Randy the Natural Couture, who, by the way, happy birthday, Natch. A big birthday night for him as his charge Mike Pyle won earlier tonight. But I thought I heard it all in Columbus, Ohio, when Randy Couture beat Tim Sylvia for the UFC heavyweight title. This crowd is absolutely electric here. And what a fight. And thumbs up to Phil Baroni. He gave it the best he could. And this is a sportsman now going over to congratulate the champion.
And you know why? Because Phil Baroni, we talked about it before, a lot of this stuff, his hatred, his anger, he brings it into the ring for the fight to help sell a fight. You know, he needs the hatred, he says, when he gets in the cage. But the moment it's over, he looks across, he said, that guy is still a professional athlete, and obviously a professional athlete that just had his way with him.
Many people wondered, after such a long hiatus, had the sport of mixed martial arts passed Frank Shamrock by? The answer is an unequivocal no.
And you talk to a lot of top MMA guys out there, they didn't really believe in Frank Shamrock before this fight. A lot of guys looked at him and said, you know, he's not really on par. He stepped away for all those years. We didn't step away. I tell you what, for everybody out there who doubts him, anybody out there who doubts him, Frank Shamrock is certainly back on the scene.
This crowd has been amazing, but why they are booing Phil Baroni on his way out is beyond me. This guy put it all on the line. This guy showed a lot of heart. Both these warriors deserve a standing ovation after a performance like that.
Frank Shamrock, you look at him, folks, that's the sport. The winner looks like that. And this second round was certainly different than the first round. This one went back and forth. You had Phil Baroni actually start to unload some lumber at one point on Frank Shamrock, and you see it there, and that's what Baroni does best. He unloads that two, tries for a two again. Shamrock rolls it off, comes back with a kick, but Baroni keeps coming after him. And then you see Shamrock come back with the punches. Baroni says, hey, that's fine, keep it coming. I'll take them, but you know what? They hurt, they sting. Shamrock does some damage. Now, Shamrock also, he didn't just throw punches, he didn't throw jabs, he was throwing bombs, and he was getting through the defense of Phil Baroni. Baroni had his hands apart a little bit. He snaked it right in between those hands, and then once it got to the ground, Phil Baroni clearly exhausted. All Shamrock has to do here is just parry around, which you're going to see him try to do here. There you go. You parry around. That's the oldest wrestling drill in the book. Put his hooks in and go for the choke. We told you right beforehand, Phil Baroni will fight it to the very last moment, will not tap out. And once Shamrock is able to release that left hand, he could put the pressure on the arteries on both sides of the neck. There it is right there. At first it's okay because his chin is still on, his forearm's not under the chin, but then he starts putting the pressure on both those arteries on both sides of the neck.
The discoloring in the face, he did not tap out. The referee stepped in and saved him from further punishment. And that, my friends, a warrior going out on his shield. We have a new Strikeforce World Middleweight Champion. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is going to tell us who it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 4 minutes in round number 2. A rear naked choke ends this contest. A referee in charge, Steve Mezzagatti, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, and he is the Strikeforce middleweight champion of the world, Frank the Legend Shamrock.
Thunder thunderous applause from the crowd here in San Jose. The legend Frank Shamrock definitely cementing his legendary status. What a performance here tonight, Jay.
Boy, I wish he did not take off all those years. Imagine how advanced he'd be if he didn't take that time off and grew when everybody else was with experience in there. This guy's just exciting.
All right. Bill Goldberg is standing by with the new Strikeforce World Middleweight Champ.
Not bad for a washed-up, old MMA guy with a blown-out knee, huh, Frankie?
I'm an old dog, man. You put me in my cage, in my town, and you call me out, and you're going to get an ass kicking.
How about another piece of metal for that trophy case?
I'm taking it home and I'm putting it in my school, the Shamrock Martial Arts Academy here in San Jose, and I'm putting it next to all my other belts.
All I could say, again, from a fan, one hell of a battle. Here's the choke. Once you, I know it's a little hard for you to talk right now, but
right.
Go for it.
I knew once I had his back, he was getting weak. He was softening up, and I just kept sliding and holding on. As soon as I felt it going to his chin, I gave him a little extra for calling me out and made sure he was sleeping.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you never know what happens. You never know what comes out of your mouth, whether it's a work or a shoot. How's the knee?
The knee hurts, man. I blew my ACL and my MCL about 2 weeks ago, but I wasn't about to let San Jose down. Not in my arena, not in my sport.
San Jose, let's hear it for your own Frank the Legend Shamrock!
This is what makes mixed martial arts one of the greatest sports in the world. The atmosphere here tonight celebrating Frank Shamrock, Strikeforce World Middleweight Champion. Yes, my friends, the year is 2007, and Shamrock is king.
And you think tonight was loud, Murilo? I'm waiting for Cung against Shamrock. I'm bringing the earplugs right back up here to San Jose, buddy. I'm bringing earplugs, earmuffs, everything. I'm going to have to glue my ears shut. This place will be so loud.
I think we're proving tonight, Mr. Glazer, that there is definitely an alternative when it comes to your mixed martial arts viewing. A tremendous night of action. Elite XC and Strikeforce teaming up. And guess what, my friend? You think we've seen it all tonight?
Are you going to give us something else?
Buddy, we are going to give you some more, and it's not just any little bit of, MMA action. This fight, I'm actually surprised that it's a swing bout, because what we're about to see could be just as exciting as what we just saw. Frank Shamrock being helped out of the cage, but something tells me the pain, it doesn't hurt as much as it could have tonight. Bill, you're back with us, my friend. That one of those moments you will always remember. There you see him being helped back, but Frank Shamrock, we talked about it when you were in the cage. He's a legend, my friend, and it's 2007, I said. A lot of people thought he was washed up. A lot of people are eating crow tonight.
You're damn right they are.
Frank Shamrock looking like Kellen Winslow, Bill, back in that playoff game of the day, getting carried off as the hero for the AFC playoff game. I tell you what, this is, again, there's a difference between these athletes and everybody else. An ACL, MCL, you put a football player out for at least a year, a basketball player out for at least a year. This guy struggled 2 weeks.
Not if you're Jack Youngblood.
All right, guys, we do have more bonus action for you. It's a night to remember in San Jose, California. We are going to go to welterweight matchup. Yes, that's right. Duane Bang Ludwig versus Paul Semtex Daley. This one could be a dandy.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we present a welterweight special attraction. Now making his way to the cage from Nottingham, England, please welcome Paul Semtex Daley.
Well, Semtex Daley always comes to throw down. The native of Nottingham, England, is the current Cage Rage British lightweight champion. He's known as Semtex because that's the explosive material that the British Armed Forces use to demolish large structures. This guy packs dynamite in his hands.
Daley's, he's devastating. He's got devastating knees, very quick hands, but this is a very big step up for him.
The big thing here about Daley, though, guys, as hard as he hits and as explosive as he is, his chin is phenomenal, and he's going to need a great chin here going against his opponent, who is perhaps the premier kickboxer in America right now, at least in the sport of MMA. He may be the best kickboxing striker we have in the sport.
But at the interview yesterday, Daley told us that he actually uses Ludwig's instructional tapes, but to teach his women's class.
Yeah, Duane Bang Ludwig, without a doubt, one of the best MMA fighters ever produced by the USA. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is about to introduce him to the masses.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage from Denver, Colorado, please welcome Duane Bang Ludwig.
It is time to feel the bang. Duane Ludwig, one of the most underrated welterweight fighters in the world. A crowd favorite thanks to stunning knockouts of former UFC lightweight champion Jens Palver, Jonathan the Road Warrior Goulet, and yes, Tony the Freak Frykland.
This could steal the show, gentlemen.
I'm not saying something, Bill, after what we've seen tonight.
I'm totally serious. This could steal the show.
And you hear the song right there, guys? That's the theme from Karate Kid, and why it's fitting is he actually knocked somebody out one day when he was training under Boss Rutan using that ridiculous crane kick that Daniel LaRussa used back in Karate Kid. It was quite comical, except for the guy who was on the other end of it.
What's ridiculous is you actually remember the Karate Kid's name, for God's sake.
I just watched it again last night.
Wow.
And I know that El Guapo Boss Rutan is at home enjoying every single scintillating action. And Boss, my friend, this is what mixed martial arts is supposed to be all about. And what a night we are having here in San Jose, California. And to think we still have Ludwig versus Daley to come.
For Ludwig, 8 of his last 15 wins have ended in the first round. So do not, and I repeat, do not get up and go to the bathroom or the refrigerator to get a little Coke right now.
It's time to give you the 4-up-1-1 on these combatants. Ludwig is 28, 5'10", 170 pounds with a Muay Thai background. Paul Daley, 24, 5'9", 170 pounds with a Muay Thai background. Very even matchup.
Absolutely, both guys can knock you out in an instant, especially Bang Ludwig. He has a 4-second knockout, the fastest in UFC history.
All right, it is time to end the night with Jimmy Lennon Jr. and his introductions of this welterweight swing bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for a welterweight special attraction scheduled 3 5-minute rounds brought to you courtesy of Elite XC and Strikeforce. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring from cage side. From Florida, Richard Bertrand. From California, Nelson Hamilton. And also from California, Cecil Peoples. And introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout. From California, John Shorley. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my left, he is fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches. He weighed in at 170 pounds, trained in the discipline of Muay Thai. His record stands at 14 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, with 9 knockouts and 1 submission to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning Cage Rage British lightweight champion from Nottingham, England, introducing Paul Semtex Daley. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches. He also weighed in at 170 pounds. He is a mixed martial artist joining us in the time-honored tradition of Muay Thai with a record of 15 wins and 6 losses. He has 8 knockouts and 5 submissions to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the K1 veteran and world Muay Thai champion from Denver, Colorado, introducing Duane Bang Ludwig. Once again, John Shorley is our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
Okay, guys, give me a good
the dressing room to try to get a few words with Phil Baroni, who displayed the heart of a champion in the main event tonight. Even though he did not win the title, it was a battle for the ages. But here we are, Mauro Ranallo and Jay Glazer, and set for this 170-pound matchup. And Jay, Daley's not been knocked out in 22 MMA fights and 15 Muay Thai fights. Will that record remain intact against a knockout artist the caliber of Ludwig?
Absolutely. You know what I'm trying to do right now is keep my eyelids up. I don't want to blink.
And that could be very astute advice. These two love to throw down, both Muay Thai practitioners specializing in the king of all martial arts, the science of 8 limbs.
And if this fight was in Britain right now, it would be such a highly touted fight. Daley has a lot of buzz over the water in Britain. He's a champion there. Hey, this would be a huge main event over there.
Daley was a much coveted free agent. He signed with Elite XC, and he's fighting Duane "Bang" Ludwig here in San Jose tonight. Going for the shot.
And he told us he's been working on his ground game an awful lot. And if you have a guy who is such a storied fighter, a storied striker in Bang Ludwig, even though you're a good striker also, take that guy to the ground.
Ludwig trying to pummel, now delivers a Muay Thai knee right up the middle. Jockeying for position, they separate.
And that's what makes a very solid mixed martial artist, is when somebody does try and take you down, even though you're a Muay Thai kickboxer, you still have a great ability to keep this fight on its feet. Great transition.
And there you see Daley looking to set up the shot with that inside low cut kick, but Duane "Bang" Ludwig has seen that a few times and now clinches up against the fence.
And we call him bang because obviously he knocks you down with the bang, but in order to get that bang, he's got to throw those hands, he's got to throw those feet. And right now he's just trying to feel out for his position against Daley.
And what do you think, giving the fans a bang for their pay-per-view bucks tonight, Jay?
All right, I tell you what, tonight's overall card, Mauro, when was the last time we saw a card this exciting, this stacked?
Unbelievable, and Duane Ludwig now has Daley again along the fence in the Greco-Roman clinch, trying to separate. And you can see Daley as well trying to...
They're making us look like idiots because we told everybody this should be the fight of the night.
Now Daley comes in with a right. And again, sometimes though, and you've said this before, Jay, as well, they are so even on paper that sometimes their skills wipe each other out, and you see this feeling out process. Well, there is mutual respect as Daley missed with that right haymaker.
When a guy equals the other guy out, and we saw with Sakuraba against Royce Gracie, that they go back to what makes them good. They go to their second thing in their arsenal, their third thing.
What you want to watch here is the technique. These two are very technical fighters.
But in this case, these guys both got to skin it and do what they do best. Start throwing those hands, start throwing those feet. Daley,
there's a knee
Bang isn't.
by Ludwig, and there's an elbow by Daley. Lots of great balance here, and again, may not be the fireworks we anticipated, but still very intense action between Ludwig and Daley.
Daley going after it, trying to put on a show. Bang is, again, I think he's just trying to find the right range to
take down by Daley.
Had this fight been in a ring instead of a cage, there would have been a reversal there.
Look at the alacrity of Daley right away to north-south, back on their feet. And boy, Daley definitely taking it to Duane Ludwig.
Well, Daley took him down, but what did Bang do? He transitioned, got himself right back up. The scramble, Bang Ludwig's scramble is fantastic because he has to work on that to keep the fight where he's comfortable on his feet.
Less than a minute and a half remaining in the first round, and they are definitely swinging for the fences, but missing with their power punches. And Ludwig now back in a tie clinch.
And I appreciate the aggressiveness that Daley's coming after him with, but he needs to just be a little careful because if he gets too over-aggressive, he'll open up for a counter. And one of Bang Ludwig's counters, it's not pretty.
And let's not forget, coming from a Muay Thai background and having called many Muay Thai fights in my native Canada, there is a feeling out process that they go through in the first round. Now, granted, this is mixed martial arts, but something tells me they're going to light the wick in the second round.
Hold on, you're from Canada? I thought you were from Staten Island.
From the True North Strong and Free, baby. Big ups to my peeps in Toronto tonight. Now Daley with that outside cut kick on Ludwig.
Again, Bang, it just seems like Bang is trying to find a comfortable range for him to start unloading. He has not found that comfort range yet.
And there's a nice jab by Daley.
And
Let's face it,
say,
after the main event, though, let's not forget that as well. I mean, a lot of energy has been now sapped out of this building. I mean, they're coming down after what was a monumental, tremendous main event, and I feel sorry for Ludwig and Daley that they have to follow that Strikeforce World Middleweight title. But something tells me
the energy's
they will pick up the pace.
The energy's out of the crowd, but not out of these fighters.
Not at all. And that something tells me we will see more action in round 2. A very close first round between Duane Ludwig and Paul Daley.
I think Bang Ludwig there again has to go back to his corner, talk to them, and realize, all right, what is he doing to kind of screw me up a little bit as far as my range is concerned? Find a better range.
Hey, don't forget to go to your brand new Showtime Sports website, show.com/sports. You can go there for video, photos, and news about all the exciting boxing and MMA events brought to you by Showtime. It's show.com/sports. And of course, ProElite.com for the latest news and info pertaining to mixed martial arts. Check out ProElite.com, the premier site for fans and fighters.
Really, the guy who is taking it in this fight so far is Daley. He's trying to put on a show. He starts with one of those high tie kicks and goes down immediately, transitions for a takedown attempt, which I think probably surprised Bang Ludwig a little bit. Now, eventually, he finally secures one of these takedowns. A nice little sweep there. Again, had this not been in a cage instead of a ring, he probably would have been reversed. Immediately, Bang gets himself back up out of position, and it's a stand-up war again.
All right, round 2 underway. Referee John Shorley. And now they engage again in the tie clinch, and they're trying to exchange knees while Daley looks to go the elbow route as well. Picking up the pace here, Jay.
But it looks just like a Muay Thai fight. That's exactly what these guys are starting to do.
High head kick by Daley.
Knee, elbow punch. That's a Thai fight.
And this is an entertaining matchup to watch again. Oh, nice left hook by Daley. Is it just me, or do you get the feeling that Duane Ludwig is yet to find his comfort zone as he gets dropped by that right hand from Daley? And this fight is over. Ludwig did not find his comfort zone. Paul Daley makes his mark in his North American debut.
And you got to give it to Paul Daley, because what he did that Bang Ludwig did not do is he went out there to try to take the fight to Ludwig. Ludwig sat back the entire time, trying to find his range. Well, in a sprint like MMA, you don't have time to really find your range. You've got to unload your kitchen sink if you want to win this fight. Don't worry about running out of gas. Just unload the sink, worry about running out of gas after you're back in the locker room.
Paul Daley serving notice. He is definitely someone to reckon with, the Cage Rage British lightweight champion. And tipping our hats to Cage Rage as well, putting on some great cards in the UK and producing stalwarts like Mr. Paul Daley. 42 seconds into round 2. Paul Daley records the victory via TKO over Duane Bang Ludwig.
And Paul Daley just sat down here in the cage right in front of him and said, I told you guys the other day, man. Let's take a look at the knockout right here real quickly here, Murilo. And if you see this, he's going to come with a straight right hand, and he had that straight right hand throughout the fight. Earlier in the fight, earlier in this round as well, he has that right, and there it is again. And the reason why he's able to snake it through Duane Bang Ludwig's defense, he had his hands a little bit too far apart.
I guess I was a student saying he did not find his comfort zone, Mr. Glazer. All right, Paul Daley now just delivering strike after strike, and he is indeed doing it for the Queen and doing it for all of the United Kingdom. Paul Semtex Daley defeats Bang Ludwig in San Jose, California. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 42 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, John Shorley, stops the contest due to strikes. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, Paul Semtex Daley.
Jay, do you think Paul Daley, the real deal at 170
I think
pounds?
he's definitely the real deal, and you know what I like about him is he's a striker, yet you can clearly see he's trying to get strong in other areas of his game. He dropped down early on, used his hands to open up for a takedown, try to go for a takedown. Not as effective as he wanted to be, but at least you see, folks, at home, the world of mixed martial arts, you cannot be a one-dimensional fighter. Paul Daley realizes that. That's the type of guy who's a new age MMA fighter.
First introduced to martial arts when he began taking karate at the age of 7. He's developed into one of the top strikers in all of the United Kingdom. And Paul Daley celebrates in the cage, but we do have Bill Goldberg with a report back in the dressing room area. And I believe that Bill Goldberg is standing by right now.
Yeah, Bill Goldberg back by Phil Baroni's dressing room. Unfortunately, we were in there a minute ago. He was doing all right. He was ready for the interview, but seems like it's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse. EMS is in there. He's got him hooked up a little bit, so it's just not the right time. But be assured, Baroni's going to be all right. We'll try to get in there later, though.
All right, thanks, Bill, and good work. And, of course, again, we can say it's a cliche, but it is absolutely true. The safety of the fighters is paramount, and Phil Baroni, I don't care what anybody says. You know, he talks the trash, he sells the fights, but the guy, he took a lot of punishment, but he did not quit. And you know, he has the heart of a champion, and he went out on his shield, the best way to put it.
Absolutely. You know what, I said it right before, and he has been choked out before. Remember I said early in the telecast, if somebody has a choke on you, why tap? The only thing that's going to hurt is your ego. Fight it to the very last moment. Well, that's what Phil Baroni did. He fought it to the very last moment until he was choked out, and all that does is put some pressure on the arteries in your neck there, put you out. Usually you have a nice little dream. You wake up, you go out and have a couple beers with your friends and try to repair that bruised ego. But Phil Baroni, he will fight you until the end. And you know what I love about him is after, what did he do? He walked across the ring, gave Frank Shamrock a big hug and said, hey, you know, he had to pump it up. He had to try and sell it. We said earlier, he is a showman. He is a fighter mixed together.
Glaze, my man, this is another fight that I will not soon forget. Strikeforce and Elite XC teaming up at the Shark Tank, and a big round of applause to the crowd here in San Jose. They were on fuego all night long.
They certainly were. I tell you what, you talked about having Carnival over here for the Shoot the Box Academy. I think it was like New Year's Eve here instead for the crowd in San Jose.
All right, we did crown 2 champions tonight, and Jay, here is a look at how Frank Shamrock became the Strikeforce World Middleweight King.
Remember what he told you, that he did not have his arm under the chin, eventually got it under there? And all right, this was the result.
We're going to have to cut you off there, Glaze. Bill Goldberg is backstage, and I believe he's with Phil Baroni right now.
Okay, guys, back here with Phil. Don't call me a liar. Phil's pulled all of the machinery off himself, and he's a true warrior, and he's going to give us a couple bit of words. But, Phil, you're a true warrior, man, and from what I just heard, within the first 15, 30 seconds of the fight, you blew your groin out.
Yeah, I felt something tear, you know, but whatever, he fought a good fight, you know. I'm not going to make excuses on it. He fought a good fight, you know. He's as advertised.
No excuses, man. You're a true warrior. True warrior. I mean, you guys put on a display tonight that was absolutely unbelievable, man. And my question is, what do you think about Shamrock after tonight?
It's tough. He fought a good fight, you know. He fought a good fight. You know, I'd like to fight him again. You know, I heard he had some injuries too coming into the fight, so you know, it's part of the game. We both fought hard, and you know, I hit him with some good shots. Hit me with some good shots. It was a good fight, you know. I want to show this though, so no one thinks I'm bullshitting. How this is torn.
Okay, this is the weirdest interview I've ever done.
It's a little bit than I realized you're Jewish, so.
Well, there you go. But at least I'm circumcised. But all I can tell you is that it looks like to me a rematch is imminent.
Yeah, I love the rematch. You know, it was a good fight, a good audience, and you know, he fought a good fight. It was back and forth, and he struck first, and I guess he struck last. And I'm not gonna say nothing bad about him. It was a good fight, and you know, I like to get in there again with him, but maybe I have to, you know, fight a couple guys to get back in. You know, a direct rematch. It's up to him if he wants to do it. I don't think he'd want to do it again. If I was him, I wouldn't want to do it again.
Hey, yeah,
Mike, go on, dude. Stop fucking pulling him away from me.
If you show me your penis, I'm pulling the mic away from you. You know, I got to tell you, man. Shut up for a second. I got to tell you, as a fan, dude, you put on a hell of a show tonight, man, and you have nothing to hang your head low for, man. Everybody out there respects you, both in the arena and watching on TV, man, and good luck to you, man, and we cannot wait to see you getting back in the cage.
Yeah, I'll be back, I'll be back. It's been no disappointment, But like always, I come back from it,
Well, I ain't coming back in here because I don't want to see your unit anymore.
Let me thank the sponsors real quick. Please, guys. I haven't fought in 8 months. Putting this fight together was real hard. It was real hard to get this fight put together, and the sponsors, fronted me the money to train for this fight. I got to thank them: Rockstar, Gamma O, Corrupt Inc., Chad from Toe to Toe, Baroni Junkyard, Punishment, Serious Pimp, Ing Ring, and then I got to thank my trainers. They're all here: Coleman, Sean Thompson. He really, really helped me with my hands. I couldn't show him tonight. Trevor Prime helped me out. Jerome Turcan, always in my corner, always helping me. All these guys, helped me out. My agent, Ken Pov, got me out of some trouble lately, and helped me get this ready for this fight. It was a good fight. I hope it was a good fight. I'll see you later. I think I could have done a lot better, but shit happens, and I'll be back. I'm gonna pick myself up again and get back in at it.
All right, nice to see Baroni still maintaining a sense of humor, and I know that the keyboard warriors are going to be flooding the forums with all this negative talk about Phil Baroni, saying how he couldn't back up all the talk, but Phil Baroni is a warrior, and I'm very grateful that people like Phil Baroni are a part of mixed martial arts.
Well, he backed up the talk because he went in there and fought, and that's what it is. If you don't fight, then you don't back up the talk. The great thing about when you have two guys like Frank Shamrock, like Phil Baroni, is the storyline, the story that gets built up, the hype that gets built up. And then so many times you'll see a fight where it fizzles. That was a time bomb.
And it's a memorable night when Bill Goldberg says penis on pay-per-view. Let's go through the results of Elite XC Strikeforce, and what a memorable night it was here in San Jose, California. We saw Edson Berto win by submission 47 seconds into round 1 with a heel hook. Paul Buentello won by TKO over Carter Williams 10 seconds into round 2. Cung Lee put on a show, winning by TKO over Tony the Freak Frykland 25 seconds into round 3. There is a new Elite XC World Middleweight Champion. His name is Murilo Ninja Hua, as he defeated Smokin' Joe Villasenor by TKO 105 into round 2. And then a main event for the ages. Frank the Legend Shamrock defeats Phil Baroni by TKO 4 minutes into round 2. And I don't know why it's a TKO, because he got a rear naked choke. But anyway, he claims the Strikeforce Middleweight World Championship. 2 titles decided. A great night of fights. Now from my broadcast partners Jay Glazer and Bill Goldberg and the entire Showtime pay-per-view crew, this is Mauro Ranallo saying so long from San Jose. We hope you enjoyed a tremendous night of fights.